Okay, we are live on audio, and now we are live on video.
Whoa.
Yep, technology. Welcome to Wicked Ones Online, Episode 3.
Yes.
We are now
Last
ready to play the game.
Now we're playing the game. Episode 3, we play the game. So last time, the dungeon was invaded. So next on the to-do list is reprisals. Swift and
merciless
reprisal for the small town that lives next to the city.
Yep. So, regarding our vile friends, does it make more sense just to leave it blank until we feel like bringing it in and filling it in then?
Yeah, unless someone has a vile friend they want.
Okay. So, when we want to use our vile friend, we'll write in who they are and fill it in.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. So we want to probably deal with the village that is nearby.
Yeah, so let's so before we get into that, yeah, there was a dungeon invasion, and the group of you took out the final henchman who made it all the way to the inner sanctum. So I do think we start in just in media res with the team. And what did you do with them? You wrapped them in chains and hung them from the ceiling?
Above a lava.
Yeah. You stand hanging there like a chandelier, I think.
Yeah, so I think we start with... We don't really know what it is at first, because it's like a spinning cocoon of chains, and we come around and we have very scared lizard boy's face.
I'm just imagining Thor Ragnarok where he's in the chains and he spins.
Yeah, but it's more like a sleeping bag that's been like cinched up look rather than...
Yep. Also, he's actually scared, unlike Thor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not conscious. He's passed out, and there's just the four of you staring up in this large dark room. Who apparently the only light source is the lava pit. There's just a creepy lava glow
because we can see in the dark.
Hanging captive.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Is the village an actual faction or no?
No,
I don't think they'd be big enough to be a faction.
They're not a faction. They're just...
They might be part of another faction, depending on what Indigo decides, but...
It's a maybe. It depends how badly you roll.
Yeah.
Is really the correct answer.
Yep.
If I have to upgrade the village to upgrade the threat, the village gets upgraded.
The village joins a faction and says, please help us defend against these monsters. So as we're all looking at it, like, probably... you said we're all sort of staring at the prisoners unconscious. Nash just says, dibs.
Oh, shoot.
I call dibs on the prisoner.
What do you mean dibs? It's my chains. You don't get dibs. I've already got dibs. Look, I can do this. And
lower him down towards the lava, swing him around a little bit, pick him back up.
If you do that, we all lose. But I call dibs. You didn't say it. Do your chain? I don't think your chains speak.
I call shotgun.
My chains speak just fine.
And I smack him with the guy.
Perfect. I'm just saying that I need disposable lizard people to find out some facts about the overworld, such as how long they can breathe poisonous gas for before expiring.
I would suggest we first learn everything we can about the town he comes from. Then you can do whatever you want with what remains.
Semantics.
Well, I suggest we start with at least waking him up.
And I'll bring him over closer to us and just splash some brackish water on his face.
Yeah, he passes out again. Like, it's not... Yeah, you wake him up, he stares around, starts screaming again, because he's still suspended in chains, surrounded by monsters. After he saw his friend and the guy they were supposed to be helping get beat to death by golden demons as they came out of a tunnel. They crawled through a tunnel, and he saw his friends get beat to death.
With golden pickaxes.
This was
Golden
just one of the
pickaxes.
hirelings, right? The adventurer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the adventurer's down, the other hireling's down, he is barely clinging to life. Anyway, that's what happened after the raid. I do believe we could flash back if you're going to extract information.
I have torture tools. I have torture tools.
That'll work.
Yeah,
I do have torture tools.
I allow it.
I just wanted to show like a little bit of what you did afterwards. You argued over the prisoner, which is not
Yeah.
shocking because you argued about what to do with him when he was alive as well.
Yep.
Is torture a downtime project?
It is.
Oh.
Okay, so we can't actually torture him now. We're
No, there's no like actual in the cycle of play. We're not actually anything for you to do. I just wanted to show the dungeon a bit,
Yep.
Yeah,
God.
and it's arguing over that. So now we're gonna launch into the raid.
Raid.
Perfect.
Which we need a few things. We need a goal. We need a target. We need a plan and some details. And then we're going to do it.
As you guys start talking about this, Blank slinks over from the corner and rejoins the discussion. Joining being a strong word, but is there.
Is present for the discussion.
Perfect. As for a goal, Nash would argue that we need to show them that we mean business, make a show of force, burn the village to the ground. Just, like, people can go running and screaming and they'll survive if they leave the village, but everyone in the village is dead, and everything in the village is dead. Unless we
Blank nods enthusiastically to the burn everything to the ground, kill them all. Stop slotting as much when you talk about the people getting away.
It's how we send a message. We need survivors to tell stories of their trauma.
You can shoot them in
We
the knees
leave
with
one
arrows, and then they have to
alive
be
tell the
guards.
tale.
I regretfully heard you, Cold. Varn, what did you say?
Sorry.
We leave one alive to tell the tale.
I like it.
One.
So the goal is just to
And
destroy.
go easy on
You're
the
not-
fire. There may be useful things down there.
Well,
We
gold
are
doesn't
significantly
burn.
lacking in resources.
I know. She looks like longingly at her broken flamethrower.
I'm trying.
You want to
I'm trying-
pillage a small lizard town.
Yeah.
Are we actively looking to pillage? Because that's a specific kind of raid. that
Pillage
gets
is
us-
special, yes.
I'm trying to find like where are the raid.
Okay, so
Types in-
The
pillaging.
bottom of your character sheet in the middle, or
Yeah.
ish.
Oh, I
right
just
below
got
Also-
the-
Also, page 250.
Thank you. I just got there.
So we could
Yeah.
do assault where the focus is more kill everyone, or we could do pillage where the focus is more get stuff.
So pillaging is raiding 2.0. Pillaging means you first have to you have to do 2 raids to pillage. You have to do 1 raid to
Mm.
set up. Because right now, going to town is going to be the 4 of you plus the 3 golden demons, because I think everyone's broke.
That's
So
fair.
it's just going to be 7. Even if there's 30 people in town, the 7 of you cannot burn it all to the ground without getting stomped to death by
That's fair.
farmers.
There's just too many people there.
Maybe we
Okay.
ambush first, and then we'll do another one, and that'll
but-
be like our pillage.
But in the future, pillaging, you do 1 raid to set up. So like, we're gonna go disable the gates, drug all the guards, what
Weaken
have
them.
you. Yeah, and
So our
then you.
ambush would be like the sneaky, let's get this started.
Yeah.
There is one other option. If you know what you want, there's strike. Bust in, get what you want, and leave.
We don't know anything with the village though unless we interrogate the guard.
Yeah.
I suggest let's go straight for a pillage. If we're gonna shoot for the stars, we could do one raid to like poison the guards or something like that, and then another raid to.
I feel like that's overkill in a small village. I really do.
Yeah, I
And if we're just
agree.
going down to send a message, I think assault with loot rolls, with an eye toward loot rolls.
And just make sure we
Works.
describe ourselves looting when
So
we get
the
the opportunity.
goal is to grow the horde. Then
Yes.
Or the horde.
Yes.
I think that the goal, more than even grow the horde, is send a message.
to the small
That-
town who did nothing but send people to investigate. Alright,
They had the
reason
audacity.
Yes.
The
How
reason they were
dare-
there was to investigate the loud sounds from when you hollowed out the mountain with an anvil.
And you know
They
what?
should
Curiosity
know
killed
not
the cat.
So
That's what
there's
that
another
was.
option. If we're evil, we could hold, like, how to put this? We could extort the town. If we want to
You
grow a
could.
horde and send a message, that's
You get
That
vigorous
could-
shaking of the heads. Much more messages are sent by them not being alive.
yes.
Extorting them is I guess a negotiation and or trickery. That's where that would fall into this setup.
They don't feel like they have enough stuff to want to extort, anyways.
Yeah, so it sounds like the goal is to grow the horde, unless someone has a
think that's
specific
probably,
thing they're
yeah.
trying to get. You could pressure the townspeople to work for you, I guess.
I'm looking
As
for
another
a
goal?
couch.
You are looking for a couch.
That would be growing the horde.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I agree. I'd say that we're probably doing an assault with an eye for loot rolls.
Alright, so the goal furthers steps of your master plan, and step 1 is grow the horde. So that's
Right.
that. You are attacking a tier 0 target.
Yep.
The small town next to the mountain you live on.
I think it's like small town, but it's literally just a farmhouse with a family.
It's a video
That's
game.
it.
It's a video game town where there's like 3 houses, and it's like, this is our entire village.
Yeah, there's like 3 families, and then also 4 stores. Like there's
Yeah.
more stores than there is families that
There's a
live
Pokemon gym for some reason.
Because like that's what you have to do to make a small town in a video game worth visiting.
Yeah.
It's like the same family owns like the shoe store and the general store and the sword store and like the pickaxe store. They
Yeah.
all have
That's the
separate
family we want to
stalls.
extort. That's the one.
Hi, welcome to the general store. How can I help you? Oh, I was looking for the shoe store. Hold on. Hi, welcome to the shoe store.
Pretty much. Yeah, so it's a
Thursday.
tier 0 target. You're just gonna attack. You're just gonna run
Yeah.
down the hill screaming and start kicking in doors.
Why
I'm
not?
good with this plan, yes.
We
Yeah.
could try to. We could like fake our way into a diplomatic relationship with them at first, and then once we meet with the
I
village
mean-
leader, threaten them with all sorts of terrible things.
We can do
I-
that when it's a harder faction than
I was gonna say that doesn't feel monstrous enough unless we start doing terrible things in the latter half.
You know, here's an idea that could be monstrous. We let the prisoner go, follow him back to his village, and do an ambush.
I have
still
a
love
better
the idea
idea.
of this overwhelming force of
I have a
just
better idea.
running and screaming.
I called dibs. I want to turn the prisoner into a bomb.
We don't
Do
have any
we-
actions to do
Do
these.
we have bombs?
I can, as a flashback, create concoctions. So we can get to it later.
Yeah?
But I think
Okay.
I'm pretty sure as a flashback I can create a concoction. Hold on.
Because if we want to like hit the monstrous stuff, I feel like letting the
You don't
prisoner
have
think.
to. You don't have to lead into it from the
Listen.
jump. It could be
Listen.
like, that sounds like
No,
a fun
it's
monster.
the game is called Wicked Ones.
It's
Goddamn
called
it.
Wicked Ones, and we get experience points for being dirty little gremlins. I'm going to be a dirty little gremlin.
Do what you want. I'm just gonna have more evil things get paladins sent after them. Like that's how this works. This is how you get.
You get more
paladins.
stars in the top right corner.
And then the game will be called Fuck Around and Find Out, because we fucked around and we're going to find out.
Get a turn in this cycle where I just send enemies into your house.
Okay. So I think our goal is still grow the horde, and our method either way sounds like some kind of assault. Even the
It sounds like-
living
yeah,
bomb
right.
thing would still just be a
Yeah.
like open the front gates kind of method to do that.
Yeah.
strike's probably your best case to survive, to be fair, because an assault is running down the hill, but once again, there's 7 of you.
Yeah. Strike is
I-
get in, get out kind of thing.
Still like the idea of assault, of us not really having an inkling of how outclassed.
No
we
plan
are.
at all, just like,
Nope.
hey, we're
Because
here
we're
now.
we're a tier 0 dungeon right now, aren't we?
We're a tier 0 dungeon. We're facing a tier 0 faction. We can do this.
We're on
had
even footing.
We won overwhelmingly the first encounter. I say we go in with absolutely no fear that we might not be able to do this.
Forget it. I'm in.
Somewhere there's a doctor who's laughing maniacally.
Hey, so you're assaulting the small town who's done nothing so far.
Yes.
They
Yes.
sent their children to spy on us.
Yeah. So we'll show them what happened.
You'll
Yeah.
show them what happened. We moved.
They
in.
wanted to know about us, and we're going to show them firsthand.
Heard.
Mhm.
Come to your new
Alright.
neighbors without a fucking fruit basket. See what that gets you.
You needed to give us tributes of jewels, not violence. We'll give you violence in return.
Yep.
All right. So
Should
I
have got
guess
the dark headsets.
I guess we move on to engagement roll.
Perfect. This will be
So the-
fine.
Just to clarify, we're just running down the mountain and attacking the town.
I mean, under cover of darkness or something.
Yeah,
Like we're not
just
being
sending them a letter in
crazy
advance.
about it.
But I
So,
think
in the middle of the night, you're running down the mountain and
Yes,
attacking the
it is a
town.
typical monster raid on a small town, the type that would summon a low-level group of adventurers.
yes.
Okay. So,
So,
I believe engagement roll.
yep.
What page is engagement roll?
40.
Thank you.
Oh, really?
There's also a tooltip document in roll 20.
Yeah, the rules reference.
Oh,
Perfect.
thank you. That's so helpful.
Yes,
Ooh.
thank
That
you.
has all of the important roles listed
Everything
for
we're going to
you.
actually need to know.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Wow, this is crazy.
New PDF viewer is nice.
Yeah.
Way better than having to put it in one page at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Review the raid plan. Oh, that's after. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we are on engagement roll.
Here we go. Considering the following factors. Dungeons tier versus target factions tier. Even.
Even.
Target is particularly strong or weak against the chosen plan. I'd consider it even.
We didn't set any details of the assault.
Oh,
Just saying.
No. What? Oh wait. We're doing.
So it says like
Can't
some
pass the PC
things
from
like
one-
where does the assault begin? Who leads the way? Do you avoid any specific targets? Things of that nature.
okay. So I'd
Cover of darkness is the one detail we have.
yeah,
Mhm.
cover of darkness. Presumably, if this is like a small village, then they would either don't have any direct defenses, or they'd have like a wooden palisade or something like that, at most.
They don't have a palisade. They have
A local militia.
not really. They got
Not even that. They got like
a
Dan.
couple gates that cover the door. You know, like the road that goes in and out of town. They have some wooden gates they can close there.
Okay, so there's a bit of a wall, but it doesn't fully surround the village.
Yeah. It doesn't fully surround the village. They mostly rely upon the mountainous terrain to keep people from swarming the village. But there's only 7 of you, so
Yeah, getting over the mountains is easy for us. Okay.
I could lead the way with the demons.
The gleaming gold ones. It is
Yeah.
dark still. Like there's not as much light to show them off.
I mean, I'm likely going to split off at least some point and wander into some houses to slit some throats instead of screaming for some reason.
For some reason, Blank doesn't feel like the type who tends to scream. Okay. But I think in the initial start off, we're all just gonna show up at the door and throw a Molotov at it or something. I can do that. If we
In
I
the
can.
scene, it's 7 people coming down the mountainside.
I could
Saying going down the
technically
mountain
invoke.
will skip the door. Like, because the gates are only set up along, like, the road.
Okay. So we just
So if you
bypass
go
the door.
down the mountain, there's no gates in front of you. You just
Yeah.
have the mountainous terrain, which they don't expect people to run down the mountain. Like, that's what I
Yeah.
was getting at. Like, they
Alright.
have some
Yeah.
defenses, but they're not designed for mountain raiders. They're
Excellent.
designed
Yeah.
for, like, bandits on the road at the most.
Yeah. Okay. So I think
We avoid the
just,
gates.
We
That's
just
what we
avoid the gates.
avoid.
We just like probably like run in and find the nearest guards to kill them while they're still surprised. I'm guessing, and then just start killing.
Yeah,
anyone
there's
we
like
see.
4 guards in town. 2 of them, they just take turns watching the gates. Like,
Yeah.
that's not all they do.
There used to be 5, but the 5th one is the guy they sent.
You took
Maybe.
an arrow to me.
I think.
Um,
Well, I think last session the adventurer might have actually done that. I'm not sure. I think someone might have. It was strange. So with that in mind, if that's our details established, they sound particularly weak against that if they don't even have a door.
Yeah, they are pretty weak to mountain raiders.
Okay.
Like, this hasn't been a problem before. The dwarves used to live up there.
And they just didn't leave.
And they just didn't leave. And also, before whatever killed them, they were a strong enough faction to keep away, like, real monsters. They
True.
had lava golems. Like, they could keep away real monsters.
Yep. Are the
so
PCs?
we build our own enemy.
Yeah.
Because they'll be wary after this.
Of course. If they survive. Are the PCs working with good or bad information?
That's a push.
We have very
Yeah.
little information unless we're doing any kind of a flashback.
Yeah, no information.
Yeah,
as
even
in
the stuff
you
you're
stepped
telling
on
us is
your-
not stuff we realize until we're there.
Well, I think the stuff I'm telling you is the stuff you noticed when you stepped out on your front porch and looked down the mountain at the town.
We saw
It's
the
like, hey,
town.
there's no gate.
Yep.
Like, that's all you got.
Yeah.
Oh, I see a couple guards. Like, that's what you know.
Excellent. Has the faction been hit by the dungeon before, or are they caught unaware?
You haven't
I think
done
they're-
anything.
We haven't
yet.
done
Yeah,
anything.
I think
to
they're
them yet.
unaware.
There at this point.
And then other recent events in the sandbox is the last thing. Okay.
So it feels like we actually have a really good shot with like 3 dice almost. There's nothing that's against us at this point.
I think there are a couple,
That's true.
like, there's stuff we don't know, but everything we do
Yeah,
know
the
is a
old-
green light.
The reason there's nothing really happening is that there's been one blowback roll before, and that blowback roll summoned an adventurer to go check out the dungeon. That was the consequences of the last thing we did.
Yep. Then let's...
So 3
Yeah.
dice?
Yeah, sure. 3
Okay.
dice.
Let me...
I've got it if we can do this. Roll 3d6.
An 8?
Well,
Oh, that's a 5.
That's-
Yep.
for 5,
That's
mix.
We s-
mixed.
Yeah. Let's double check how it works in this game, but I believe...
Equal footing.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm setting up some clocks to make this make sense.
Okay.
All right. So we're still by the Dark Mountain. The first clock is villagers. If this clock fills up, you've killed everyone in the village.
Probably safe.
This is important information to know because it's a great way to get one of the goody two shoes factions we built to come to
To
your
come
dark
after us.
mountain.
Excellent.
Now,
Yeah.
is it more likely that they'll send someone if we kill everyone, or if we leave one person?
If we kill everyone, they'll probably send someone stronger but later, is my guess.
Depending on who fills the clock, whoever gets that last tick depends on whether or not everyone's dead or there was one left alive intentionally.
That's true.
But if you just like attack the town and take some stuff, yeah, they might increase guard presence, but that's what happens after monster raids. But if you wipe out the town,
If you go
Yeah.
onto hard mode, which that sounds good to me.
anyway, there's a clock for it, just so we're aware. Then I guess we should skill a loot clock, because
Of
that's the main goal.
put ticks towards this to get loot, to get an extra loot die, I guess.
Well, I think it's till because our main goal is to grow the horde and get stuff from the assault. So I think, yeah, there probably is like a storeroom or something. Maybe a clock could represent us, like securing access to that somehow.
There's a 4-point level clock, like a 4-point yellow clock, referring to all like actually valuable things you could use in town. Not human money or lizard folk money, that's pointless to you, but like
like the actual resources.
actual resources y'all seem to be interested in: crafting materials, couches, fine
Yeah.
silks, chains, generic.
Perfect.
I love
It's not a
that
big
list.
town. They got 4 points if you loot it out and like, the town's broke, but that doesn't matter to you.
And it's not a matter of like each tick is 1 dice. It's not that.
It's not going to be that straightforward, I think.
Yeah, I'm just trying to throw a couple clocks down so we have something to track
Yeah.
how the town's going.
Do you have any like wow, I'm here to make it harder for myself. Do they have any we're in distress signal to call to anyone else right now that we should possibly get out?
There isn't any major roads that connect to the Dark Mountain at the moment.
Yep.
So who are they sending signal to? Like that's
true.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of would be a 4 o'clock for guard resistance of like it once maybe a 4 o'clock is full, all of the guards are dead. Or, fleeing because they're not prepared for this kind of
you
thing.
start at equal footing, which means I do think you start like we cut to it as we get the shots of all of you. Stealthy is a strong word, but not like screaming, but like
Skulking
going
up.
between little hill to hill down the mountain, like clearly just running down the mountain.
Yep.
And we see a couple guards like standing around town. Like 2 of them have stopped and have turned, and like they're looking at at like these figures cloaked in shadows running down the mountain. It's like, what do you think that is? And everyone's like, I don't know. Should we report it? And then before they know it, there's 2 arrows that clunk into them. Like 2 handmade arrows clunk into them. They fall down, and then the 70 all like run into town.
Perfect.
And then you make it to the town, and you like, I don't know, slide into town square, and there's someone there, someone with a sword, not quite dressed like the guards, but you have like an action movie slide into town, and there's
The lone defender.
yeah, pretty much like a lone real defender at the moment that's in the town square with you.
Perfect.
All of the good citizens of Dark Mountain Town are tucked in their beds at the moment. The shop lights are out.
Okay.
Beautiful. Forget
That's where
the
we're
lone
at.
defender.
There's
What
a
is
lone
the
defender. He's in a tattered blue cloak, very similar to your starting Cloaks of Darkness, but not quite. It doesn't
But
it doesn't have the tag, but
the
it's like a
heroic version.
tattered blue cloak and has a really long sword. Yeah. What do we do? What are we, you all stop and you see him, and there's a pause moment before.
I become the worst type of adventure for a GM to play with. Ignore the obvious thing. Look for the biggest house and go over there to figure out how to get into it.
Oh, I was gonna send my golden demons after the
Yeah,
the
'cause they
guy.
come with you.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll start with Blank. You need to get away from this lone defender.
Actually, while you do that, are your golden demons made of gold or just gold colored?
I think they're just gold colored.
Okay.
Like, I don't think they're physically made of gold. Otherwise, they would not be alive still.
They have the divine essence of gold.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they're made of gold, but not worldly
Not metallic.
gold.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you couldn't melt them down.
Yeah.
All right. For getting away and just finding a good house, just skulk, basically.
So you want to skulk like before, so this would be like as you're coming around the corner, you see like the flash of steel behind them or something, and you
And there are
somersault through a door instead of like going into the town square.
There are 6 people into the town square instead of the 7 people who came into the town.
Cool.
I am looking to get away to, before any clamor happens, you said all the townspeople were in bed. That sounds like a great place to start, as I said, slitting throats.
You're just gonna take out a family, okay.
My
I'll start in Billy's room.
Okay, so I will. My goal is to get ticks, ideally on the villager's clock. I'll roll a skulk, and I'll take the +1 dice bonus for the stealth level armor with it. And if no one has any objections, I just roll.
Oh, that's a crit.
Yep.
You somersault into a family's cottage and just we don't follow you in.
We just.
I think
you
we
just
just
step
hear the
out.
sound of bow twanging. Like you
have
still
a
use your
skinny
bow in their house. We just hear the sound of twanging bows, I guess.
I have a skinning knife. I'll use that. It's a little bit more sensible in close range than a bow.
Sure.
Okay, so we don't see what happens inside.
There's a little
but you
knife
step
animation that's above the door.
And not
Yeah,
long
above the
after
house,
you
you just
step
see
out.
minus 10 HP, minus 10 HP.
Yep.
Though they thought they were safe in their little mountain
How many
town.
ticks is a crit?
In normal blades, it's 5. I don't know if that's the case here, though.
I
don't
believe
think
it's
so.
3.
No,
here.
in normal blades, it depends on the
position.
effect,
In effect,
actually, and then crit is higher effect than normal.
Oh, right. We never actually picked position and effect. We should
Right.
probably, I guess, retroactively do that.
True.
Yeah, you 3 ticks on the villager's dead clock. This was a whole family.
Yeah.
They ran like 3 different stores. Like this was
This
the
was
grocer,
like
the butcher.
yeah. You walk in and there's like kids sleeping on the floor. Like it's like 20 people in this small single room house. It's ridiculous.
They were like, it's a
And, like,
nice night. Let's leave the window open.
Yep, the family's gone. A house empty.
House empty.
Get me a
couch.
Operations to snipe people from. I appreciate this. Find the
Yep.
next open window to see what goes down with the rest of you.
Yep. Who else is doing something horrifying to this
Uh,
town?
I think
I'm
the
sending-
demons are attacking.
I'm sending the
swordsman.
demons. Yeah.
All right. So the demons can roll as 1, like the
Yeah.
minions roll 1 unit.
They're gonna smash.
They're just gonna smash. All right.
Yes.
Weren't they injured?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
They were at the end of the tunnel. We had
Ah.
dealt with it.
Right. So I don't think they get any bonuses. I think it's just the 2d6.
Yeah, unless you have something to give them a die.
Can I use one of my dark hearts to give them a die or no?
No.
Okay.
They have their own +1 die mechanism.
Oh,
They have
the
yeah,
morale.
for morale.
I don't. I
You
think
spent
I
it.
used it last time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a 5.
That's a 5. That's mixed. Yeah. So they begin, I guess, just engaging the swordsman. He's
Their
holding all
picks.
3 of them off, who are like taking turns lunging in with their pickaxes, and they're singing a little mining song because they're not soldiers.
They're not singing mining songs. They're singing like holy hymns to my god. That's what they're doing.
I'm sure
It sounds like
it doesn't sound holy to him. I'm
It
sure.
sounds like to the swordsman. It does kind of sort of sound like pieces of gold put into a blender.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, but it's very rhythmic, and they take turns just like swinging in with their pickaxes, but he is sword fighting all three of them at once because he's the cool lone defender that's like wandering through this town, I guess.
Nash is gonna go to one of the nearby houses and try to like scamper onto the roof to get a good position from which to throw something onto the blue cloaked defender amidst this whole fight.
So you begin scrambling up some thatch work.
Yeah.
I think you need to finesse to not fall through the thatch.
That's fair, actually. Yeah. Okay.
Or something similar. Like that's what I see as the main obstacle.
Okay, just to get up there.
Yeah, like these are not built for climbing. This is not Assassin's Creed.
That's fair. I'm just a small kobold, so I wasn't sure if they counted.
Well, that's why you're able to do it.
Okay.
Like,
I'm not spending anything on this. It's just one die. Let's see if I get up.
No.
I accidentally added a bonus die. That shouldn't have been a bonus die. So it's a 2.
Either way, it doesn't happen.
You crash through the house.
Yeah, so we see the demons move into fight, and then Nash begins to charge up her little legs and start to like run and jump onto a thatch roof, and then just like slide down.
The squeak of the chair was perfect.
Yeah, and then we see like the window fly open, and someone launches a plate or two
Perfect.
at the fallen Nash.
They throw frisbees.
Yep. She hisses at whoever's throwing the plate. Do I
You've
take?
awoken the family inside.
Okay. Excellent. Well,
Those are the consequences. You do not do it, the family
Yeah.
is awoken.
she hisses at them. We'll see what happens afterwards. I assume someone else wants to do something.
Yeah, I'm up for a little fuckery. I'm gonna run up, not quite up to the guy with the sword. I'll stay behind the demons, and I would like to use my ferrokinesis to make his sword meet the ground and not get back up. He won't be able to pick up the sword.
Only if he's the king of England can he do that.
You're just gonna magnet push the sword down?
Yeah.
Seems to be. Yeah. That seems doable. Alright. It's an attended item, and using RPG rules, that makes it one step harder.
Except one of the example spells for tier 1 is pulling a sword out of someone's hand and grabbing
Then
it.
never mind. This seems flat to me for like, this is effective. It doesn't seem, because you're doing it under the cover of other combatants, it doesn't seem particularly risky, not without risk, but not, super dangerous. This would be very dangerous if you just ran up by yourself to do it, because failure means you get stabbed.
All right, so just the 3 dice. That's a 4.
That's a mixed success, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You magnetize the sword. But I do think the silliest answer is that the way you get it to work, it's magneted to you, so like you get stuck.
Okay.
You are attached to said sword. The sword is rooted in the ground because you jumped on it. Not like blade first, but like broadside.
Okay, so
flame
it's like
lasher.
hitting my cloak to the ground like one of those neodymium magnets, and he just can't get
Yeah,
it
you
off.
can't
Yeah.
pull it up.
I have a thing I could do also. With Blue Boy being distracted, I can apparently invoke to do something in place of another action, as long as you can creatively justify it within your magic path. And in the example, it says, you beseech Shabazz for power and hold a lightning bolt at the knight in plate mail. So I'm going to beseech, what's my god's name? I gotta look it up again. I beseech my god.
Whoever you are, it's fine. I'm sure.
Yeah. my god of greed and envy to give me golden flame to shoot fire at the house that what's your character's name again, Spencer?
Nash.
Nash. That Nash tried to go in because they're awake now, so now they got to deal with their house on fire.
So you're smiting the house.
Yeah, I'm just lighting the house on fire.
How does this relate to your god's power?
Because
your house is better than their house, so it can't be envy.
I have an idea.
Go on.
They're throwing plates at me, which means they're wasting their possessions.
Ooh.
Mm.
So, I mean, she's also the flame of jealousy.
I mean, that's what the fire makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What better way to make people greedy and envious of other people is if they don't have a house anymore?
Oh, so you're spreading
spreading
greed by
okay.
removing their possessions.
So
By removing their
you're
possessions.
specifically burning everything they own. To
Was the house.
instill greed deeply into their heart.
Mhm.
This tracks. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just invoke?
Invoke. I do think this is a little bit risky, but also fairly effective. It's a thatch house.
Yeah.
You're summoning fire. Most of their stuff's made of crappy cloth and wood.
Mhm.
You can burn all of their stuff pretty effectively.
Yeah. I'm gonna spend a dark heart.
You spend a
'Cause that
dark
gives
heart?
me-
Okay.
Yeah, because I have 2, so why not? Yeah. A 6. I
Six.
think I spent
Yeah.
that dark heart.
You
Yeah.
smoke their house. From the ashes, you do see
A couch?
no couch. It's been
Dang it.
smoted.
That's true.
4 very naked people. You smoted their house and everything they owned.
Just up in
It has
flames.
been rendered to ash.
Perfect.
I look at them and I just say a word in the light tongue. I say, give. That's it.
They're looking around like, what? You just took everything.
Nash is gonna yell up into the air, Blank, get over here! And then she's gonna do something in preparation before Blank gets here. I don't know if Blank is coming.
I was planning on calmly wandering back through the house to try and find another house to do the same thing in, scanning on the way to see if there's anything, like a couch or riches around as I saunter over to the next house.
Perfect. You're ignoring my call?
I think I'm busy exiting the house, and how the roll goes will depend on whether I hear your call or ignore it.
So you're looking for something valuable, I think was...
I'm looking for valuables passively as I more actively look for the next easiest people to end.
So you're continuing to skulk through the village to find your next.
There's a few naked people without a house right next to me.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I'm looking for scan right now, if that's alright.
Oh, scan. All right.
Yeah, scanning for gold.
As
Mostly.
you
Position effect?
well, the town's a lot brighter. Very suddenly, you get a flash of light that illuminates everything that really helps with this process. So I do think regular effect, you have brief illumination as a thatch house bursts into flames.
And technically, there's no one alive left in the house that I'm in, so not really risky.
Yeah, not really risky.
All right.
So this is the thing. You found the softest target.
It works. Oh no, not bonus of 2 dice. Submit.
And you keep rolling 6s. Okay.
Okay, so I guess that's
Yeah.
because regular effect is 2 on the loot roll dice. And let's see, I heard the yell. How much of a team player am I? Things are going pretty well.
You found the general store though. Like you're walking through the town looking for targets. You hear the yell, and then as you turn back to consider, your eyes lock upon the glory that is the general store, and you're
Ah,
looking for loot. The temple to capitalism lies before you.
oh dear. Well, I can always come back to it. It's much more interesting to kill people. I will head towards the yell, marking right there's where the general store is in my mind for when we go back to it.
Okay. In the meanwhile, Nash has taken her. She's been creating a one-time weapon to use against the blue cloaked warrior. She's gonna take one pouch of her fire oil. And since there's a flaming house next to her, she's going to very carefully measure part of it out and light it on fire, and then using some I'm spending a stress to perform an incredible feat of creation. She is using this dose of fire oil with one of her crossbow bolts to create a unstable bomb arrow, bomb crossbow bolt. And when Ash shows up, I sure have to roll to still do it, but when Ash shows up, she intends to just give it to him and just with the crossbow and just say, shoot it at him. Give it to Blank, yeah.
Do you have to roll for that?
Spend a stress to perform an incredible feat of creation. I'd imagine it just gives me greater effect to tinker if it's based on my understanding of previous Blades in the Dark abilities.
Yeah,
but I can check.
The risk is you light yourself on fire.
Yeah, that still seems risky, but I think the effect would be up to standard because I'm spending the stress, or I get what I want.
Yeah, success is you do it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll tinker that out. I don't think I'm not spending a dark card on this. 6.
6, yeah, you have an unstable explosive arrow.
Perfect. So, when Blank appears, she hands him a loaded crossbow bolt with a big smoking bag or liquid filled bag at the end of it. And she says, "You should fire this at him within about 5 seconds, or it will explode on us." And she just calmly says that.
At who? At the guy in blue?
Yeah, at him. And she's pointing at the warrior in blue.
All right. So as Blank appears, you basically just get a tap on the shoulder as you say that, and
she doesn't even look up at first. As she's finishing up her creation, she just hands it in your direction.
Okay, I'll take the crossbow and... Oh, that could go so terribly wrong. 5
throw
seconds.
The whole crossbow. Just throw the whole crossbow.
Just throw the whole thing.
I'm curious if there's any more populated houses around. That's more interesting than killing this one guy.
That's up to you.
Okay, I'm going to shoot it at whatever nearest populated house that is not the general store.
Populated house.
Populated house, not dead people.
So the goal is to just light another house on fire?
Yes, ticks on the villager's clock, guys.
Yep. You got it. All right.
This lone warrior is going to be the last survivor of this village.
Yeah, you aim down the crossbow, and you start aiming at the guy, and then you turn to the left, and you shoot the bomb bolts at another occupied building. They're all awake in this one now because
I'd imagine.
Fighting.
Yeah, we hear the cry of a baby that's woken up, and you're like, "Ooh, a better target!" And shoot it at the house.
You launch it at a house that's clearly filled with people.
Yeah.
Precision effect.
Because you have the bomb bolt, you have the one step up on effect, position. I don't know. You're not paying attention to the armed threat.
It's unstable.
It is unstable.
Unstable. Yeah, both the armed threat you're not paying attention to, and the unstable device means that it is risky.
Reliable bomb arrows feel too much for this setting.
Sounds good. So something bad could happen, but it's a great effect. All right, let's shoot. witness. I don't have a dark heart, so it's just going to be a
Oh.
crit.
Blank is gonna single-handedly kill this whole town.
Wait, crit on a greater effect should be around 5 ticks. I think I just killed the villager.
Yeah.
Position
Oh,
and
no.
effect, I don't think matter. It's the
Okay.
critical is just 3+. So
Okay, so 3 plus.
Then what does effect
Alright.
do when it comes to clocks at all, then?
oh, okay, here we go. +1 for strong, -1 for weak, except on a failure.
So, Plus 1
So
for
it could be
strong
4.
would be
Yeah.
4.
4. Okay, so there's one
Yeah,
tick
there's
left.
one tick left. There's just the mayor left alive.
Maybe the general store is the last one standing because you specifically didn't want to burn it down.
Yeah. There was bathtub gin or something.
Bathtub gin.
This was a surprisingly flammable house. And
We-
you burn it and the green grocer down immediately.
There's like a moon in the attic of this house is like a moonshine hole set up and
Yeah.
everything like that.
Yeah, it blows up.
I
And then-
calmly hand the crossbow back to Nash, and then, completely ignoring the battle again, turn around and point at the, hey, look, here was a loot store, and then start walking toward it, gesturing, come this way.
Yeah, Nash will look back at the battle and look at the general store and at Blank, and then shrug and go with Blank to go to the general store.
Yeah, the problem is you need failures for something else to happen.
Yeah, so far this has been 4 successes in a row.
There's been
Mhm.
2 crits to take out the villagers.
The dice have decided that this is going to go well so far.
So far.
Yeah. I mean, minions can just keep going.
The way I'd see it
Yeah.
is like with
Yeah, the minions do need to take another roll. Roll.
they
with
got
the-
wounded last time, right? If it was a mixed success, did they get wounded?
Did they?
I don't think so. They just weren't horribly effective in what they were doing.
Oh no, they got wounded.
Okay.
It was a mix because I put a tech on the wound is also exhaustion. It's the general.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
But the sword fighter also got a tick for the mixed.
hmm
So yeah, what are the minions up to? Because they are the only active combatants that aren't just running through massacring the town.
Oh,
Cool.
can I get them to help me?
You're gonna have them coordinate an assault.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So they're gonna help, and then you're gonna strike out at them.
Yeah, I'm gonna have this poor man see the error of his ways and say no, I want more out of life. I need to be more greedy. I want the fire of his greed to be I deserve better than this. And
I'm
he's
not
just gonna
getting
leave.
paid enough. Yeah.
I'm not getting paid enough for this shit.
Get him to start fleeing.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
way this is gonna work is that this is a player character that was in the town.
Mhm.
It's, you're forcibly updating his quest.
Yeah. Yeah, current objective, run.
Yeah.
That's
Because
what it is.
currently
He's
it
gonna
is
change from a standing fight to a fighting retreat or something like that.
Quest reward, 0 gold.
Yeah, as we're
Yeah.
burning the village, the reward keeps going
Yeah, because
down.
there's less
Yeah.
villagers to reward him.
Yeah. So you're going to mystically you're gonna have the golden demons up the tempo of their assault to cause a distraction for you to summon the magical powers of greed and avarice to adjust his quest.
Yeah, I'm going to put on my crown of greed mask, which I tried to make my special item, but there was no italicize for the thing. So what does that do again?
Was it just a tier up item?
The edge item are you talking about?
I
Yeah,
think
that an
so.
So there are 3 different things. It can be a magic item, it can have an edge, or it can just be special, which gives added effect.
That
It's
effect makes the most sense for this mask. I'm
Yeah.
picturing not a mask that you actually wear, but just the plate.
mhm.
So it's not one that has straps or anything. You hold The mask.
Oh, like hold it up.
Yeah, you hold up the mask of greed as the invoking of as part of the invoking of your
Yeah,
divine curse, I guess. And then
I'm gonna spend another dark heart because why not?
and the
Okay.
eyes flash gold within the mask, and we'll see how it goes. I think
That's a crit.
Oh god! All right. Yeah. So quest objective updated.
Run.
Run. Reward. Nothing. Failure penalties. Death.
Yeah, like his previous quest was like protect the village. That now has a red line through it, and then it just says run.
So is
Yep.
that like 3 or 4 ticks on the blue clock?
Yeah, that's 3 ticks on the blue clock.
What's the yellow clock?
Oh, loot. How much
we haven't
loot
done
left?
any
No,
looting.
we're about to, but not yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is the adventurer running?
Starting to turn, but not totally done yet.
Fighting
Okay,
retreat.
well,
Yeah,
No, he's not.
He's starting to look around. You're
No,
like,
he's not.
yeah, is this worth it?
So I'm going to use my defense against enemy movement to negate him from running.
Just his
Oh.
boots. You like lock his boots to the ground or something.
No, I just block him off with chains, and I'm going to use my continue to use those chains to break his legs.
Yes.
All
Yes,
right.
that seems like it'll have the intended effect. The risk is you already have his sword under control at this point. The risk is that you get a boot to the face as opposed to locking his boots down. So normal risk, normal effect, but
Okay.
that seems totally functional.
Spend my dark heart and 6.
Yep, he is locked to the ground. Yeah.
I'm just going with my dark impulse. I am a cruel individual. He can get away. He can crawl away.
Excellent.
Yeah, he is dragging himself out of this town. Yeah, there is like one person left alive. The naked lizard people that did live here have run.
Perfect.
If that one person is in the general store, my goal as I head in there is to just point at whatever couch and then point at Nash and say, like, "You take the couch."
I ding the bell at the front desk of the general store. Then I
You
ding
hear
it a
some
couple more
yelling
times.
from upstairs. No one's coming down.
I am glaring at you like I was about to step on the bottom stair with knife out, and I'm like, fine.
Ding, ding,
I
ding.
think I go up the
She
stairs
smiles
just a
at you.
little bit more quickly, and yeah, no, I'm still planning to skulk and attack them.
She's gonna look around. I think Nash is gonna actually say, "Hang on a second. Before you do that, place like this has got to maybe have a safe or something. Keep him alive for now. Bring him down here. I'm gonna see if there's any, hidden treasures."
You get no response as he goes up the stairs.
All right. I'm gonna look around for hidden treasures in the general store. Like the couch is there. I'm sure there's stuff around, but like, what's useful for a monster?
Yeah. Give me a scan.
Okay.
Normal effect. Normal.
I will be
risk.
spending a dark heart here, which gets me a 6.
Yes. Yeah. There's a farmer's hat, but like sparkly text farmer's hat.
So like, there's something seems interesting about it.
Yeah, it keeps the sun off
Useful
you with
material
magic.
is what our horde is.
Perfect. I mean, that's useful. I'm sure we're monsters that enough monsters probably have sun issues that if we find a vampire, we could trade this to him. I take the hat.
Yeah, it's a magic farmer hat. Yeah. That's the interesting thing. Otherwise, there's farming implements.
I'm adding it to my supply.
There's some soda, like bottled soda pops, because that's funny in medieval world.
It's sarsaparilla.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take what's useful in the background, basically. Like again, we'll hand that over to a loot roll. But I definitely can't carry a couch by myself, so I'm not.
Yeah, you're gonna get loot rolls from it. The clock is how much loot's available in town. Like, it's supposed to represent this as a small town, and when it's full, it's tapped.
Yep.
Look, I've actively avoided burning my houses.
Did
Mostly.
you?
Yeah, the second one didn't work so well. Um,
So as you guys are going about the town doing your things, I think in the background of each of the shots, you just see Varn gathering bodies and throwing them into the town well.
Mm.
Yeah, so you're just sending
Oh,
chains
dear.
into charred built. The whole town's on fire now.
Yeah.
Because it was all mostly thatch roofing. Like, the general store is the nicest one in town.
I think I don't want to go too deep into this scene, but I think as Blank gets upstairs, like we've got the barricaded door, and there are people behind that door, and his goal is that there should not be people behind that door.
Yeah, so give me a finesse roll to empty
Yeah.
the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just see from their perspective, like the rattling doorknob or something as you're picking the lock, or however it ends
It's like
up being.
a horror story. There's something out there, monster.
Yeah.
And let's see if my dice fail me now. I'll take it.
Yeah, I think the mixed success is the best option. Is that we spend a bit of Blank like shaking the door frame, and eventually like the crappy lock breaks and you throw it open, and all you see is the last like someone hand their child out the window, and then the lizard lady jumps out after it, and you run to the window, and they have scurried into like the lizard holes. The town's emptied.
Can I still have trick shot and shot the last one who got out of there because it was a mixed success?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can clip
be out
one.
there,
Yeah, no,
fine.
you
Get the
run to the
last-
window and you start firing a couple arrows, and you hear
I could imagine like the
a
baby will be
strangled
fine, but like the
baby
parent
will-
will die once they get to the next town. Like
Yeah,
then,
you hear some strangled screams from the dark. And
yeah.
the town
need
is
to create
void
the
of
next
villagers.
who
We need
has
to
a
create the
horrible
next hero.
backstory and is
Yeah.
Oh
going
no, we just made a
We just made our
rogue.
chosen one, actually. Yeah.
While they're doing that, I'm gonna set my demons to start building like an effigy to my god while I look for a couch.
Perfect. I think Nash is
what are
gonna
they-
wave you over once she sees you like looking for a couch.
Yeah, you get waved over for the couch. I do think, yeah. I mean, there's not much else to do with this raid. You spend a little bit of time like watching the demons drag all of the useful logs out and piling them in a big, pile, basically in the center of town. And then the build animation begins to go over it, and there's
Yeah.
a crude dragon figure that gets assembled in the center of town on top of a bunch of little wooden discs, which you're assuming are coins. And then we see the sun start to rise from behind its like mismatched wooden wings, and we see Varn drag the last charred body out from one of the houses and chuck it in the well, just for fun.
No, not
So
for fun.
no-
To poison the well so that can't build this town again.
We all pull out our salt and we salt the earth. That's what we do.
If I had some, yes.
Yeah, salt's probably expensive
Fine.
depending on how.
We have supply. We have salt. Well,
Great
let this
success.
town be. There is
Raid
no
was a-
longer a town.
Yeah, raid's
I think we sent our message.
a sounding success. You have a captured adventurer. No, the adventurer is crawling
He
out
crawled
of town.
away.
It was
Yeah.
the answer.
Crawled away,
Yeah.
and I wasn't here. So
Movement speed reduced to like 0.5%.
I imagine like he had to crawl all the way till he was out of combat, and he just threw off his headset like, "Damn it, this bullshit."
Yeah. So then we get in the early morning light, the group of you dragging a sled made from an old bed and some like blankets that you're using to secure all of the like junk you found in town.
Yep.
With a couch on it. As you drag it up the mountain. More accurately, you yell at the demons as they drag it up
Yeah.
the mountain.
Oh,
I'm wearing a new hat
Yeah.
for now.
Yes, there's a large straw hat upon the head of. You had no idea that Nash was a farmer,
Now, Yep.
but all of you are sure that she is in fact the best
She's a
farmer
farmer
you've
of
ever
death.
met.
Yep. I gain like the title farmer below my name now.
Yeah, while you wear
Farmer
the
Nash.
hat, all of you will be recognized as a farmer.
Why does this keep putting a southern accent on me? Oh, I'm not speaking any differently.
Wait, can I see? Can I see?
Yeah, no, I give it to you for a second.
Well, I don't know what's going on here, partner.
Just a
That's too weird.
mumbling cowboy.
Too weird. Take it back. I don't want it.
Yeah, I think we'll trade it to someone.
I think that, like, in the swath of darkness that is Blank of the Cloak, all you can see is just a nice, happy smile that is ridiculously over-animated with way too many teeth.
Oh, perfect.
You
Like
just
a
see the teeth.
a monster's teethy smile.
Yeah, it's like the Cheshire Grade, but inside
Yeah.
a cloak and gross.
Yep.
Excellent.
Meanwhile, in the background, you just hear Varn yelling at the gold demons.
No, you gotta turn it at an angle to get it through the door. It's a couch. Have you never moved before?
Hey, we're all just gold here, man. I've never been with a couch before. Like they're trying to figure it out.
Okay, but really, the thought of taking my couch down these stairs to my apartment after we move is like a big reason I don't want to move.
I'm
like,
very glad
that
my couch.
specifically.
We did move. Our couch can dismantle into like 6 pieces, and I'm so glad for that.
Mm.
We had to take all the feet off and still like apply concussive force to take it up the stairs.
Our couch is broken, so when we move, we're just gonna throw it
Throw
away.
That's the best
Or
option.
leave it if
really.
the person moves in wants it. Yeah, they're not gonna.
Yeah. So I
No.
think now we're back at the dungeon.
Now I think review the raid if that's what I remember from
Yeah.
the rules
Raiding.
reference.
Yeah, the next step is we do the blowback roll.
Loot, I guess?
No, yeah, you're right. Loot from a raid. That's for stuff we'll go over to get after. It's just
Oh yeah, blowback first and then review.
then review, and we'll go over loot
Oh,
then.
you're
I
right.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It can be something immediately accepted and resolved, or jump into a scene and try to deal with it.
I feel like the blowback on this one should be pretty big, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a smoking town at the base of the mountain.
Yeah, it might as well looks like we nuked it effectively when you come back and see what's left.
The thing is, like, if we look
Hang
at how well did you stick to the plan, it went perfectly. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
that's
nice.
that was gonna be my case. Like the rule is actually deviation from plan makes blowback bad.
Caused by not
not
following your plan
fallout.
closely enough. So I
Yeah.
imagine this would be like soft blowback. Like this wouldn't be an immediate. There's no one left alive who knows where our dungeon is. I think like even
There's
people
no
looking around. Were
there's
like,
not
there's
gonna
something
be-
generally up the mountain.
Yeah, it's not gonna trigger a raid
Yeah.
or an invasion, technically.
It also says it can be pocketed by you and brought out later, which you can do if you want to.
Yeah, but we're gonna do the roll now.
So I think 3 dice.
Yeah, I
Because this
think it
one,
went perfectly.
Yeah,
I don't think we could
you
have gotten a better raid.
Yeah.
got all of the stuff out of the town. You got the couch. You had achieved secondary objective, empty the town.
Tertiary objective, couch.
Okay. Ooh, I hope we get a critical. A different faction takes the blame.
Yeah, me too.
Who wants to do the
guys take
roll?
the blame?
I vote that the greed god person gets to do the loot roll.
That makes sense.
All right.
But this is the blowback roll, so this would not be that. Actually, Marissa, you killed most of the villagers. You should probably do
Yeah.
that. You did most of our assault.
That's true.
3d6. Let's see how this goes.
A 5.
Not bad.
Minor blowback.
Yeah.
And then
You want to roll 2d6 for me? Someone else?
I'll roll 2d6. I can type it. 3 and 4.
So mixed again.
Yeah. So as you make your way back up the mountain, you stare up and you see what Cold immediately declares to be a dragon flying up above you in the mountains. Doesn't quite land at like your dungeon, but is definitely like living in the area. It's a giant gargoyle. There's a giant gargoyle with a scary person face and an overlarge tongue and ears and the big stone wings, but Cole says it's a dragon, so it's up to you what you actually call it.
I think at first, when dragon is mentioned, Nash actually looks outright terrified for a moment and hides, like, under the couch cushions that are being carried by the gold demons.
So you jump onto the litter and get into the couch.
At first, yes.
Can I shoot it?
It's a stone dragon. You shouldn't do that.
You want to shoot the? You
I
can.
absolutely want to shoot it. Yes.
Yeah.
We can solve this blowback right now, or make it
Yeah. So that would be deadly as far as the
The
danger
risk,
scale.
yeah.
Not very effective because what are your arrows made out of?
I believe
Obsidian?
wood or stone. Yeah, obsidian,
it's
you're right.
obsidian.
So,
Is it enchanted?
Nope.
Well, not very effective.
Sounds good. I'm doing it.
I'm so glad I hid.
That's-
Nick.
It's a mixed success. So you shoot an arrow up into the clouds, and it pings off the higher tier than you gargoyle, and then from above you hear a loud roar, and all of you not what are the damages again?
In terms of shock, there's brains, muscles, and guts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever sonic damage does as the
Could be
sound of
brains.
I could see
screeching rock
brains that
rains down on a
We're used
cone.
to almost
I could
anything
also
you-
see guts for fear. I think that might make more sense to me.
Yeah, but there is a damaging effect raining down upon you from said gargoyle.
Is it trying to threaten us?
This is like the warding shot, if you will, because there wasn't shards of stone in it.
Mm-hmm. If it's trying to threaten us, I have defense of being threatened.
So yeah, I think you're fine.
Oh,
You
yeah.
use that for your reaction roll, right?
Yeah,
Is that how
I
the
immediately
defenses-
go and bow before it because I think it's a dragon.
I'm gonna try and resist being frightened of it. Once I hear the roar and realize it's
I know
not
there's physical pain too. There's like the fright's optional, but like what it is doing is causing physical pain to try to get you to back off. So it is
okay,
a
so it's
damaging effect.
yeah.
The fear is supposed to be
Okay,
the
so it's-
byproduct, but it is trying to hurt you because you shot an arrow at it.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna
Oh.
resist the pain then from that. I think once I realize it's not a dragon, or that it's not an actual dragon from the roar, I think that is what I'm gonna do. Would I be resisting with brains, muscle, or guts if it's sonic damage?
You're resisting with a skill, with an
Oh,
action.
right, with a specific action. Okay.
Yes.
I
We'll
think in
call
this
it-
case, I'm going to try and bury my head in the cushions of the couch that I'm in so much that it doesn't, like, I'm basically using it as ear protectors.
Okay.
I would guess that could either be Tinker. I could do. I am using the couch cushions. On the other hand, I could just finesse to try and, like, squeeze more into the couch. What do you feel fits better?
I think finesse more than tinker. sure on that one.
Or this
But
might be
possible.
Skulk. This actually could be Skulk to
Yeah.
hide in the couch. I
Yeah,
missed
Skulk makes sense. You're not really making anything. You're kind of just using stuff around you.
Okay, I'm gonna roll Skulk. I have 0 dice in Skulk, but eventually I'll learn it if I keep going. That's a 3 because it's the worst result.
That's a 3. Yeah. You. That's a failure. You spend.
With resist, a failure means partial resist, take 3 stress.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you resist the damage, but at the cost of the couch cushions.
Okay. I think that's fine
Like,
by me.
I
I think I
think
might
you
just
have
like
to-
rip. I might like because I have clawed hands, so I might just like rip them
Yeah.
up a bunch when trying to
Yeah,
cover
like
my
they
head with
get
them.
destroyed in the process, so now you have the social consequence of destroying Cult's couch.
That's fine. I'm sure Cold will be fine with it.
What's everyone else doing to resist this damage?
I'm resisting with Smash. Basically, I'm just powering through it.
Nice.
I'm not resisting because we heal anyway. So
4, yeah. That's 2 stress if you want to partially resist. And then it was 3 for Nash.
What does a partial resist actually look like if it's...
Don't know, I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Something else besides, in this context, it just means that something else happens besides the damage that you were initially resisting.
Okay. I technically have a defense against it, against physical damage. I'm either going to do that or not resist, because again, we heal. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
You
reading
do
the
notice,
section
like-
on partial resistance now. It's interesting.
But you do notice Blank not knock another arrow, mostly because that one was so effective. He glares at it and decides he'll try another way next time.
Yes, you're not strong enough for this bad guy. Yeah. So anyone that's not resisting takes the thing. As far as Varn's partial resist,
So
I think it's you resist, but you take the stress.
partial resist is actually you get the 3 stress or 2 stress, I think, from a partial, but also a partial still means something bad happens, just not as bad as it should be. Examples include reduced effect or position, but you could also change it to you drop some non-essential gear. One bad type of shock might be changed to a less bad type of shock.
yeah. Well,
like
the
that.
issue is already the lower level of shock. It wasn't like you get bloodied, because
Yeah.
that would be the normal step down. It's like you go from bloodied to the regular shock.
It's interesting because it's like, with so few hit points, what is resisting less down when it's only 1 of 4 already?
Oh, it's more about the stress than it is the thing. Like, is it worth? Do I have the stress to spend to do it? Yeah, no, I do think something gets damaged for Varn if you. That's the all that I really got. Like, you can muscle through, but either a piece of gear gets damaged or just like shredded in the process.
Okay, well, I guess my tattered black robes are now much more tattered.
Shredded black robes.
Threadbare, tattered black robes. Yeah. So you just see your cloak whipping around you and like shredding as you continue to. I don't know. I'm guessing you're not standing. You're continuing to go to get away from the giant monster. Unless I'm wrong and someone's standing to.
Oh yeah,
face
I
it.
I think what happens is like the top half of the cloak gets shredded, so it just looks like he's wearing a kilt now, a tattered
yes.
black kilt.
Yeah.
Combat defense skirt.
So the creature gave a sort of warning cry, a warning like
Yeah,
shriek.
a warning cry. I do think now we should do a team skulk or finesse roll to quickly hustle or other
We
move,
need to
whatever makes the
get
most
back
sense.
to our lair.
Some team roll to
safely.
quickly hustle your way back to the dungeon for safety, because this is a monster above your pay grade.
Fair enough. Finesse or skulk? Finesse is speed more, I think.
I think we're trying to be sneaky.
Skulk is probably the best thing to do.
Skulk makes it so that they might not find the entrance to our thing. That seems
Yeah.
more wise.
I think that makes the most sense.
Okay, so we all roll Skulk?
Sweet, I don't have it.
we-
Awesome.
Right, we don't have to designate a leader because we take stress ourselves if we fail. We're gonna
And
be
if you
missed.
don't have it, you're going to get ticks to increase it.
Yep.
So that's good.
That's good. Okay. Let's start skulking. What's our position
Sweet.
and effect here?
Oh,
Worst result, so it's a 4.
I mean, position it's normal and normal. Like if you succeed, you make it back.
Okay.
Um,
All of us got a mixed success except for Nash.
yeah. So a mixed success. I don't think it's any immediate failure, but you all get an alert about the great gargoyle calamity has been spotted on the Dark Mountain, and there's a new quest,
There's a new event
like a
for the
world.
player characters.
There's an event quest to eliminate this gargoyle, who just happens to live on the same mountain as you.
Excellent.
Well, we can use this to our advantage.
Oh, I know we can. Let's talk about it
Mhm.
later, but yeah.
So how much stress do you actually take on a mixed? Because that's a thing.
I think it's just 1. But I could be
I
wrong.
don't think you take stress on a mixed.
In this
Any-
game,
Any
you do.
PC that rolls a mixed or failure takes stress on a
Yep.
team
I
up.
don't know. Okay.
So we all did.
Take 1.
Yeah, one. I'm
Uh,
trying to find the team rule rules.
63.
Oh, I was
Oh,
saying
right,
action
because it's a
rules.
team roll. That makes sense.
Yep.
I was thinking every single roll we take, if it's mixed, we
No,
take
this is
stress.
just for the team up because we're taking the
Okay,
best of
just
all of
take
us. Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's a consequence that there's an event happening.
No, I think it works well. Okay. So
Yeah, it doesn't super say. Everyone takes a stress. That makes the most sense.
All right. What's
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
next
really
thing?
say on 63 for it. It just says,
Yeah.
make sure you get the job done.
perfect. Then
So then we're on to lurking.
I think
Yeah,
so.
I think loot's next up on the
Process. Yep. Lurking process.
process.
Actually, first we go through recovery, healing up, and resetting abilities. Then we make a loot roll. From what I'm reading on the lurking section.
Okay, so we heal all of that damage we just took.
And stress.
Yes. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Does everything? I thought some stuff didn't heal.
At the beginning of each lurking phrase, the following happens. All stress clears, shock clears, bloodied condition
Okay.
clears, use supply slots and defenses clear. Once per
Yeah.
cycle, abilities, items, and rooms refresh. If you have an empty lair, your dungeon attracts a creature, filling the lower tier layers first.
Okay, we do not have an empty layer.
Nope. The one layer you have is still happily filled with lava stakes.
Yep. Okay. After that, the loot roll, counting our loot from the last raid. So we start at 0 dice.
We have +1 loot die from killing an adventurer.
Yeah, you have the adventurer you killed who invaded your dungeon. You have the adventurer you bested
Yeah.
in town.
Target belonging to a faction at least equal to the dungeon tier. The village is equal to us, so that's another
Yep.
one.
So we're at 3 dice, not 4 as far as I can tell. 2
I think I
adventurers
counted.
and
Yeah,
dungeon.
you're right. Each tier of the target faction is above the dungeon tier. Nothing. Each source of good loot we grabbed.
You get 1.
Yeah, I'd say 1 is
The
good.
general store is the source of good loot.
Yep.
Fair enough.
And that's it.
That's
So
it. That's a lot of dice. It's 4
Four
dice.
dice.
yes.
All right, Loot Kobold, it is your time to shine.
All right, 4 dice.
Wait, don't we each have to roll the dice because we get different things depending on?
Is it 4 dice per person? It was
Each
last time.
player makes a loot roll to find out what you do with it.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So we're each going to roll 4 dice.
Do we all roll 4 dice?
I think so.
That's my
The only
interpretation.
Argument I would, well, no, different people can get a different amount of dice. The only argument I might make is if you didn't actively participate in the looting. But then again, we had so much time at the end of that. I would
So,
say
yeah.
we all
There,
did.
we weren't
we're
under
gonna
time
do-
pressure by the
Yeah,
end.
here's,
Yeah.
here's what we're gonna do. Everyone gets 2 loot dice to start.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are 2 adventurer loot dice available for the party. So 2 people can roll 3 or 1 person can roll 4. But everyone starts with 2 dice from, like, looting of the town. And then the 2 extra dice are the adventurers.
But everyone, like, according to the rules, should get 1 loot dice per adventurer.
Let's look at the full-on loot rules in the game.
Yeah.
I thought I was looking at the full-on root
Where-
roll.
The unstated primary purpose. It's 257 in the PDF page. 257. You're
Why isn't
assumed
that
to
with
offer
the other
looting
loot
with
ro- I was
background, which
on the loot
guarantees you at
roll.
least something each time. You can then go out of your way to secure more throughout a raid. You build a pool of dice. Blah blah blah. Loot is tracked by the GM throughout a raid. You start at 0 dice and add the stuff we just added.
So that when we did that, we have a single pool of 4 dice, and now we need to figure out if that is rolled by each player or something different.
I'm trying to find the example section.
Because it is split up.
Like, I know
Well, I think the
different
easiest
people had-
answer is everyone rolls 4 dice.
I think so. It says each player then I'm now back to page 235, which is actually about the lurking section, count loot. Each player makes a loot roll to find out what you do. Yeah, page 256. I think everyone gets 4 dice then. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's each
everyone-
player.
Everyone, that's also what I'm reading. Everyone gets 4 dice.
'Kay.
You're right if someone has a specific good source of loot, like the couch
for like
that
that
didn't make it.
specific person and you were time sensitive, it might matter. But because it wasn't time sensitive,
Yeah, because the goal. Well, I think part of it was the goal was to get loot. So by achieving the goal of getting loot, everyone gets 4 dice. But
Did
like,
we-
if the goal was to do like an assault on a guild to take out a bunch of members, and you happen to take a detour to get loot, that's where you would get the bonus loot dice.
Right.
But when the main purpose is loot, it's really hard to narratively include I loot, but just for me.
Yeah.
well, it does say
um,
like they managed to hit a target in their tier, secure a piece of good loot, kill an adventurer, so they make a 3D loot roll, and that's for everyone, I guess. Yeah.
So was the guy in the town an adventurer?
Yes.
Okay, but we also get a +1 loot die for killing the adventurer in our dungeon.
We counted
so it should be
both.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, you
why
did?
we're
Okay.
at
4 dice
4,
in
yeah.
total while you were gone.
Got it. Okay.
4 dice is a lot, so I do think this is a profitable raid for everyone.
So I think it normally is all grouped, but we just got really lucky this
Okay.
time. 6. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
let's-
think just-
let's go around the horn.
We wanted. I think we mentioned Cold would roll first if you want to.
Sure. Loot goblin.
Oh.
Bad. Failure. You enjoy your revelry. Gain a dark heart or give morale to your minion pack. So, what do you do with all of your loot? You have a
4
destroyed
times.
couch and like a bunch of bread. that you-
So I give
So you
morale
gotta-
to minion pack for 1. I have to gain 2 dark hearts.
where do you
and
gain 2 dark
then-
hearts from?
Each die is its own.
Each die is
result.
what you do. Yeah.
So 4 dice are 4 individual loot results, and
So you
4
get
failures
Dark
means
Horse, and then overdo it twice.
you can also get morale
get-
to your.
Yeah,
minions.
so I only overdo it once.
Okay.
Oh, so you just overdo it. What What are you doing? What's your revelry look like?
We we get our rift up couch, and me and the golden demons play some poker.
You lose everything again, but this time to your own
I lose
minions.
everything again, but to my demons.
You're really good at this poker game.
It turns out that you're playing it with like open hand, but you're the only one with the open hand, and you think it's
Normal.
You know what? This might be a great opportunity for Cold to go away and for me to play someone who's good at Smash, because we don't have a good Smash person.
Varn is good at Smash, isn't he?
But he
Oh.
doesn't necessarily need to be, because Invoke is also Smash.
Yeah.
Like
If you want to play a new character, go for it. I just
Yeah,
changed the
I
names
think-
on my overlay, but that takes like 5 seconds.
That's fine. Yeah, I think Cold has to pay a debt to his god, and he's gonna be god for a little bit.
Perfect. You have to work at like your god's like temple is like a big bank or something like that.
I think it's you get turned into one of the
I get turned
to
into a
golden
demon
demon.
for a little bit.
Excellent.
Nice. That way you're still
so
in.
you
actually get a
lose your mortal soul and
Mm.
are cursed to be a servant of your god.
Excellent.
All right. Well, while you make and introduce your character, I think the rest of us are going to figure out what we got in loot, and hopefully it's not as bad. I'll guess I'll roll mine.
Yeah.
Where's the fortune roll button?
Yeah, that's a nice little
Because
button.
Jordan, you clicked the fortune roll button.
Oh yeah, it's so where it says go feral, it's underneath that.
The resistance.
So like
roll?
underneath all of your like your stats, if you keep scrolling down, there's fortune roll right above Vile
Oh, I
Friend.
see it. It's pretty. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna overdo it too. Okay.
But you get 1 gold
you already
for
have, do you have 2 dark hearts?
I had 1 dark heart, so
Oh, you had one dark
one
heart?
dark
Okay.
heart, 1 morale for my minions. Third one overdoes it. Knew I should have spent it, but I didn't think we'd. I thought I'd need to spend it at some point. Evidently not. Morale for my minions. Are my minions still bloodied, or are they not? I don't know.
They should refresh with everything, I think.
Yeah, they should
Beginning
refresh
at the
with-
lurking phrase, they clear their bloodied condition.
Okay.
But morale doesn't re-go unless you actually get some.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
charge morale.
And you have to pick either morale or gold?
No.
'Cause I'm looking at mixed
It's
assessment
dark
Oh,
heart.
here.
I'm not doing it for. One of the failure results is a morale.
Oh, okay.
The mixed, I'm just gonna get a gold.
Oh, I see what you
It's
mean.
my
Okay,
first gold. Where do I put it?
Uh,
There it is.
right next to
there's
the
a thing for 3 gold.
Yep, I see it. Okay. And then I'm gonna overdo it. So
Yeah, what does your party look like?
Oh, I think
What is your revelry?
my revelry is knowledge. I think in this case, I'm gonna put myself in danger personally trying to find out where more about that gargoyle. Basically, I'm gonna I think try to track down where its lair is myself. It's up to you, Indigo, if you want this to take my downtime action, or I
Oh yeah,
get
no,
like
this costs you your downtime action.
another option is it could be shock or something, as like I go there and I get like damage from it basically, or something like that. But I could
mean,
totally
I don't
see a
think you
downtime action.
I don't think you would be hit with the like AoE twice.
Okay.
I
Like,
do think it
especially
costs you a downtime
how
action though.
reckless are you when you're doing it?
I don't think she would try to be openly reckless, and she has her starting Cloak of Darkness with her defense that, not that I have to use it right now, but her defense using it is against being seen. So I think the downtime makes the most sense.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's already going to be adventurers crawling these hills very shortly.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of fodder to, like, put you in a worse position because, like, they spotted you or something.
Okay.
But yeah, no, you don't get spotted by the big monster, but you do spend like an absurd amount of time just like sitting on a ridge, jotting down notes as you watch it just like stand motionless on the side of the mountain because it's a giant gargoyle.
Because it's a gargoyle. Yep. Perfect.
All right. I'm going to press the button. And
Oh.
okay. So 2 failures is 2 dark hearts, which is convenient.
Or morale, if you
Or
want to
morale.
charge.
Actually, yeah, I'll take 1 dark heart and give morale to my minion pack for the 2 failures. The 4 is a gold. Good. And then the success is a valuable item. Okay, a valuable item, which I don't know. I guess
There's
we're
a
rolling on
loot
the
table.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Do we want to roll on the loot table?
Unless you have some.
Pull a mundane or valuable item from the loot. The player chooses what it is.
Oh.
Okay, is there anything absolutely interesting? I'm curious, let's try a roll on the loot table and then modify from there, because I am not fantastic at creating ideas here. Well, I think it's pretty
2d6 then.
straightforward.
2d6.
Alright.
And you can match the dice in either way. So a 6 and 4 can be 64 or 46.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit limited. I'm just trying to use. I mostly use the table, so like give me a ballpark of what we're looking for.
Speaking of
46.
64 46.
Yeah. So I do think you grab one of like the rare like healing items they had in town.
Yeah, the remaining potions that the adventurers haven't bought.
Yeah, so you have like the town survival first aid kit, basically, like their magical relic that they would use to like fix horrible infections from a bear mauling or something that
Okay.
you have sequestered. So you have the farmer's mantle of healing. It's like a drape, like a small tablecloth, like drapey thing that they would place on a mantle and do their small magic ritual for increased healing as they slept before the fire.
That is great. You see Blank pick it out of the loot, go into his room for a moment, and as he comes out of the room, it's you can't see the mantle of healing, but there's just a lot more bulk underneath the cloak again, and it is implied that he is now wearing it.
You're wearing the tablecloth as
I mean, you said it was a mantle. That's a
I meant that
wearable-
it went on a mantle, like on top of a fireplace.
I am wearing it. So there. It's like one of the a cleric sash that goes around the shoulders, except it's completely under the armor and the cloak of darkness, so you can't.
So you just get little tassels coming out from under the bottom
Yes.
of his armor.
Absolutely. If he ever stands up, you'll just notice the tassels raise out of view under the cloak.
Perfect.
So
Yeah,
I'm putting
so
it
you
in
can
my
have
gear, and I'm getting rid of the trap kit for the moment.
Yeah, so you could put it as defense against dying, I guess.
Can I just use it as okay, this is a healing, so
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, sure.
No, you can phrase it how you like, but it's a healing item.
Healing mantle. Got it.
Yeah, even if used slightly not as intended, it'll make you heal good.
Okay.
Awesome.
And what did Varn find?
Oh, let's find out. Boom.
Ooh, you can get the double awesome thing.
Combine 2 successes to gain a powerful item of the GM's choice.
Yep, we're going to go with that powerful item. I'm going to take a dark heart and a gold for the 4.
Yeah, dark heart and a gold. I think the powerful item is the sword. Like
Yeah.
you have it like a storm, like a blade of the storm. It's like some wind and lightning enchanted.
Yeah. It's a normal item with multiple edges, is I think what would make the most sense here. There's other examples of what it could be, but we can make up some edges for this sword.
Yeah,
that
it's
it
the
would have.
adventurer's real cool.
He spent
sword.
all his money on the sword and then lost.
Okay, edges.
Yep.
Let's take a look.
It's a thing I'm a bit familiar with because I can add edges to items already.
Where's
Edges for weapons don't make weapons like
we go.
do more
122.
Yeah. So
No, it makes it basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Niche better. Like
Yeah.
my pulverizing chains work on stone and armor only.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there are a bunch of examples, but for like something of wind and storms, basically for the sword, we could do like one would be like can attack from a short distance or something like that. Like can shoot a small lightning bolt would be a decent edge, and it's functionally the same thing as it basically gives it a longer range. Could be one example. The examples in the book, we went with pulverizing already for a change, plus effect when
Yeah.
destroying stone or armor.
Powerful would work if it's a wind sword,
Excels at
knocking
knocking
back
back
enemies.
enemies. Yeah, that's true.
it's a powerful sword? Yeah, then one more cool, fun edge. It's not trusty. We
What if it
know
can
that.
What if the other edge is it can summon like storm clouds? It doesn't like manipulate lightning directly, but it can like change the weather to storm clouds.
I do think it is seaworthy plus effect on the open ocean.
Ooh, I like that. Is it like a pirate scimitar, kind of like saber
Nope,
looking? No.
nope. It's like it's a really long chipped broadsword made out of some like bluish gray steel.
Okay. It just
It has plus effect while on the ocean. It is powerful and it is seaworthy.
Okay.
You got a cool sword. Don't know how much it helps in the mountains, but it's the only it's the only item I could think of in town that would meet the 2 success like level is something that was brought into town.
yeah. This is probably someone I imagine because we established that the adventurers take boats over from other islands. I'm imagining that is when it was really useful for like oh no, our ship is being attacked by pirates on the way to this island.
I think it's the other way around. I think it was loot from the pirate attack on the open ocean.
Okay.
Yeah, but sword time. All right, we got loot. We have downtime. And I do think we're going to do it so everyone gets to do their downtime except for the new person who's going to come in
That's fine.
after
Do
the
we-
downtime.
Want to take a break first is one question, and the second question is when did dungeon duties come up?
I don't think dungeon duties are something that we specifically have to have come up. It's just more narrative flair, if I am correct.
I believe it's a
think that
downtime
makes-
thing. Right?
Because if it's a downtime thing, like all of our downtime actions are going to be spent on dungeon duties, and I'm not actually seeing it, but then if not, why did we put it on our sheet?
I think it's just meant to be like who's in charge of this from a narrative perspective.
Yeah.
That is what I believe dungeon duties are only for.
Dungeon duties.
Yeah, I'm reading it, but
When something is added to the dungeon, it must be taken care of, narrated, or rolled in some way. It's added to a player's sheet, and they're responsible for bringing it into the game. So when they're tripped is when that person rolls the dice. That's why you have specific dungeon duties.
So who gets to roll the dice for that item, for that
Yes.
dungeon feature? Cool.
and with that, do we want to break?
I think now's a
Yeah,
good time.
that seems like a good time to break. We'll come back to talk about downtime.
About 10
Because I'm
minutes.
sure
Yeah.
downtime's going to be more complicated than other games because that's where the dungeon grows.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we'll be back in about, I say a few minutes. Based on my VOD editing, it's actually 10 to 15 minutes. But we'll have some music in the meanwhile.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you for watching. Okay. There we go. Now it properly stopped, because it didn't stop when I muted it before, which was weird. We are now back with part 2 of episode 3 of Wicked Ones Online.
Yeah. All right. So we did our loot rolls. One player character got turned into an NPC, and then all of 4 golden demons
4 golden demons departed the dungeon.
dissolved into dust and returned to their deity.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Was it for being not greedy enough?
Yeah.
No, he got too greedy.
Too
He-
greedy
he-
for
No,
the god of
He
greed?
greeded too close to the sun. Yeah.
Well, it's that you lost all your money. Like, you didn't hold on
Yeah, I
to what
had
you
to bet my
gained.
soul, and then that was it.
Perfect. Okay. I think, do we want to do our downtime before we see our new character show up then?
Yeah. No, it's
Okay.
it's like you're gonna do the downtime, and then the new guy's gonna show up.
Okay.
I don't think your dungeon tier increased from.
We haven't gathered enough to reach tier 1 yet.
Yeah, I just wanted to double check if there's
When
something we're
does,
supposed to be paying attention to.
when do the other factions get to roll on their faction clocks or whatever? I'm pretty sure that as non-GMs we don't get to see it, but I'm curious.
It'll probably be during, like, between sessions. Once.
Yeah, like the first. They're gonna start ticking after this, and after I get a better grasp on which ones we're caring about.
Yeah.
Because the problem is they're all doing other stuff, but we don't care about it until it affects you.
We'll see what happens. We'll develop it over time.
Yeah, because we'll run in. We just haven't encountered any of them, so I don't really know what's quite going on with them or how much they care about you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but downtime. I'm just trying to double check the dungeon tier so I don't lose you anything that you should be getting. Right?
I will check as well if someone else wants to use their downtime.
Yeah. But yeah, we can start figuring out what our downtime actions are. There's lots to do. There's a dungeon to grow. There's personal projects to work on.
So I know what my downtime action's gonna be as I open.
I have the
and
answer
try and-
here. When we successfully launch a pillaging raid, that is the type of raid that automatically grows our dungeon tier if it's against a target that is higher tier than our dungeon. So we'd have to find someone that's tier 1 and pillage them, and then we will reach tier 1. Well, tier 1 or higher, but yeah. So
Cool.
there's a specific type of raid that will do it. And that's what we're going to want to do to complete step 1 of our plan, I think.
I just wanted to check before we moved on because dungeon tier matters, and if you're supposed to level up, we can figure it out, but not quite yet. So,
Well, I've got a thing for my downtime action if we want to start there, if that's all right.
cool. Yeah, let's start with you.
So my downtime action, I wanted to start digging out a minion lair, which is a tier 2 room.
A tier 2?
But I figured that our minions need somewhere to sit, kick back, and chill. So
Cool.
because it's tier 2, that means that it's a 4-action clock because the tier of the thingamajigger, the tier of the room is equal to how hard it is to do, which means 4 clock. So I think that Blank has noticed the active lack of pickaxe demon golems around suddenly. It takes a little while, but then he's like, oh wait, there's no one bashing away at the walls. So I think that he just wanders over to, the last room that we have and picks up whatever random pickups axe we have, wandering around, and just starts actively trying to make the room bigger. And that is what he is doing.
Yeah, so if you want to draw on the map where the minion layer is going to be, and then finishing the room is going to be finishing the tier. So we'll put a clock in that room, and when the clock fills up, it becomes a minion layer.
Yeah.
Can I? Oh wait, this is an active lock. So is the lock
Yeah, that's a lock
before
that
the
leads down.
stairs or in the end of the passage?
It was the lock to the stairs.
It was a lock to the
Okay,
stairs
I'll
itself.
put it
Yeah.
to the stairs.
Yeah,
I'll put
that's
it by
right.
the stairs because
Um,
that circular room is kind of getting obliterated into a real room, which is much larger.
Perfect. I think that most of the time spent by Nash is out of the dungeon, but at one point when she's coming back to the dungeon from her many forays looking for the gargoyle, she just stops and sees like you like pickaxing against the wall and says, "What are you doing?"
There's just a hand gesture of just like around, which is not that clear. I'm fully aware.
Are you
mean-
building a rec hall? This is a giant room.
Yes.
You know, there
It's
might be
two
like
traits, and I know
veins
what
and
traits.
rivers of lava around here,
We
right?
ignored it. We ignored all of that and carved out a giant room for that.
Yeah. Well, while it's still being dug, because the room isn't fully dug out yet, Nash is just like, you know what you're doing, right?
I gesture at a pickaxe, like you're welcome to join.
I I, I have some golems. Do you want them to help you?
Shrug.
All right. Well, okay. I gotta go get some sleep.
Returns back to pickaxing the wall. Yeah, no, he wants to make a gigantic room. With the minion layer, there's two things that you get to pick, and I was going to go with silent and echoing. I am making a minion layer, but I am making a minion layer of my own design. I don't talk. I don't see why anyone else should talk. So when they do talk in their wonderful echo
It's
minion
booming.
layer, everyone's going to hear it.
Cool.
Now this is
make a...
which group of minions is going to be here? Yours?
No, mine is in the guard post, so somebody else's, I guess. Yeah, either our new minions, but feel free, anyone is able to take it, I don't mind.
My golems are happy anywhere. I don't know if anyone else wants to claim it for their minions.
I mean, a silent echoing chamber for a bunch of Weather Witch minions.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need a roll for...
So I think this is probably Smash.
Okay.
I didn't describe anything particularly.
No, you described smashing.
Can you help on downtime actions? Is that a thing?
I don't. I would imagine not.
Yeah.
Because the only thing about helping is that you're open to the negative consequences, which is rarely a thing in downtime.
Mhm.
So because this is a clock, I think the only thing you can really do is, add to that clock. It's not a personal my clock.
But helping is plus effect. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
Oh, assist, yeah, increase effect. No, there's not really a consequence.
What's the cost to... I mean, you can still get hurt in the process of pickaxing a room.
I mean, regardless, your downtime actions will 9 times out of 10 be from dominant position. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do the go hard and trade effect for position, so I get more likely to get some ticks. And actually, I kind of like that idea. Make it more after the person comes and asks, "Do you know what you're doing?" I get kind of ticked and start going just faster but less carefully.
Cool.
So are
Increase
you
effect.
Yeah. I was looking
Increase
at it.
effect, decrease position, and see what happens.
All right. So you're
Okay.
at normal position, extreme effect, right? The
Sure.
+1 effect.
Is it normal position or yeah? I guess.
It's
Where
dominant. Unless
Where
you're
you start at dominant, but then blank traded position for effect. So
I see. Yeah, there we go.
step down from dominant, step up from.
Yeah, any downtime action that has a dominant position can be re-rolled with normal position instead, recklessly pushing on to try and accomplish something and risking worse conditions, but you must take the second result.
Yeah, that's why you don't change the dominant position for the first roll, because you can roll again from a riskier position.
Yeah, so just do a normal roll first to see if we
I'll
crit.
do a normal roll. We'll see what we get. 4 mixed. Which
So you'll
actually
take some. So the mixed success is going to be a tick on the clock, and you take some fatigue, so like shock to your muscles. That's what it
brutal
stands
for a
now.
downtime. Interesting. But I don't think I'm really going to get any better than that. Yeah, okay. That makes sense, I think.
I checked, the examples do include shock, so
Yep,
it's
no,
not.
I think this is right.
Yeah,
oh, right,
no,
the imps are also going to get a downtime.
Yeah.
Oh, how are your imps getting a downtime?
No, the
Oh, right.
imps.
They're
The
The
totality of imps.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so I think I'll take that because I'm not likely to get much better. And
Cool.
it makes.
Yeah, minion layer underway.
Okay. I'm going to spend a gold to not trust blank and send my minions to go help carve out this place. So I think, yeah, after a bit, we see the 4 golems come by and pick up the other like pickaxes that are around, and
I think
start.
they just use their fists and just.
Yeah, they can also just like dig with their metal fists. They're going to start digging alongside blank without. I think at one point one of them, after having showed up and started digging silently next to you, just says, "Greetings."
I think an arm reaches out and pats it on the head and then, goes back to digging. Also, can I resist the shock?
Yeah, it's a consequence.
Sweet. So I guess resist it by stretching?
Just limber up with finesse. I'll take it. It's workplace injury. Workplace injuries can be countered with a proper stretching routine.
Blank begins every day with Tai Chi. Oh.
You pulled
don't
something.
Do that.
Well, you
partly
partially resist and take 3 stress.
So a partly resist for
I
a
do get
shock
rid of the
in the book
shock.
example means you can switch it to a different type of shock that's more preferable to yourself.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Take a shock to guts.
Yeah.
That's personality, metal, and magic. Let's see, how do I describe that? Sure, I no longer am muscle fatigued, but
You
I
drank a
am.
tonic.
I was
Like a
very,
headache?
very tired by the end of that, and I am less communicative than usual.
It does cause
Shocking.
stress.
And yeah, you take 3 stress. Okay.
And I took 3 stress, yes.
All right. My minions are going to try and
But
help.
yeah, I shall pass your minion on the head briefly. This is definitely an acknowledgement of help.
Perfect. Why did that roll 4 dice? I selected 2 bonus dice when I meant it's 2 base dice, so it's just a 3 and a 2.
Or you can just re-roll 2 dice.
They're expendable. I'm re-rolling for under normal position.
Okay.
Which I'm not. I'm not going to take those other dice. I'll re-roll. A 6 under normal position. Okay.
So 2 more dings?
2 ticks. So I think, yeah, they start working. I think the 6 meant there wasn't a cost, but I think there probably was close to one. I think one of them probably says temperature readings, register a lava vein here, suggest change direction, and we slightly tweak the layout so we don't flood the room in lava.
Do you want to draw in the this bit was not?
Yeah, the slightly round bit. Yeah, I'll draw it in.
Cool. All right. Varn, do you have a?
When can we spend gold to upgrade minion? Is that a downtime action? I'm not
Yeah.
seeing.
Yeah,
It is.
you can do that
It's
now.
under what you can do with gold.
Yeah, but does that take
downtime
your
action.
downtime action?
No,
Or do you
No.
just
using
do it?
gold never
Okay.
uses your downtime action.
Yeah, no, it does
Okay.
not take an action, but
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm spending my gold to make my weather witches adept.
ooh. So
What
you
does
you
adept
buy them? Yeah, what do you buy them?
Let me get back to the definition of adept real fast. Adept,
it's like they take
your
half.
minions can cast a single tier 2 spell once per cycle. They take -1d on this as normal, but don't have to pay stress.
Ooh, okay.
So what do they
Okay.
gain?
They get the ability to cast spells. I'm going to give each of them their focus, their spellcasting foci.
Ooh.
Nice.
I'm assuming the gnarled hands of 10 adventurers.
Well, they're weather
crispy
witches,
hands.
so I think it's like I think I wait until the gargoyle leaves and then go take a couple of his stone scales and just like hand those out, or I pay someone to go get them since it costs a
Yeah.
gold.
So now they have talismans of giant gargoyle scales through which they can
Yes.
channel their vile weather magic.
Elemental stone. Yes.
Sweet.
Okay.
So you paid, or sorry, to Spencer, you paid money to.
I paid a
your minion?
gold for my minions to help you out. Yes.
Okay.
All right. And as for my actual downtime action, you know what? I have pulverizing chains. Let's finish this minion lair.
Cool.
I will invoke the 6.
All right.
There we
to finish
go.
the
Minion
minion
layer complete.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
So yeah, what does the minion layer look like?
Well, we all chipped in on this, though.
It's it's a very large room.
Yeah,
I basically
and-
chiseled out like
Yeah, it's your weather witches.
fire
I think
pits.
they're going.
Yeah, fire pit in the middle, and there's like a stone cauldron that was left there.
Is it like green fire or something? Like very witchy fire?
It's powered by the lava, but I think as the heat rises up and heats up the enchanted cauldron, I think it turns sort of a vaguely purple instead of red hot. It's
like a
purple
black
hot.
light purple?
Yeah.
Nice.
And because it's silent and echoing, I think that like
The
the second
crackle
that
of
they
the
start
fire is...
chanting, it feels like it's coming from absolutely everywhere. It goes from this like terrifying you could hear a pin drop to you can't hear yourself think.
I like it. I'm sure the adventurer's going to have a good time in here. Well, I'm going to use my... I don't have my normal downtime action, but I can still use my creative frenzy downtime action that I can only use to craft. There are many, many good things to craft, but one of the example contraptions is the concoction launcher, which is tier 1, so I should be able to make it in one action. It can let me launch concoctions from a distance, but it's very cumbersome to carry. It seems very useful. So that's what I'm going to try to make. I figured it lets me launch all sorts of goodies at people. Then I don't need to make a bomb arrow. So that's what I'm going to build. Does that sound good? I haven't heard
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds good. Sorry. No, I'm fiddling with circles on the lava cauldron in the minion chamber.
Excellent.
As it comes to the minion chamber, it's been created. I have 2 things already on my upkeep. Is there anyone with 1 thing who wants to take care of upkeeping this room?
I
I
have
could
one
take care
thing,
of
but
it.
also isn't it Varn's minions? Do we want Varn to take care of it?
I already have 2 things.
Other person with 2.
You,
Oh, okay.
you could make the new guy take care of it.
Yeah.
Or I could hand over the lava snakes to someone if someone wants lava
Oh.
snakes.
I'll take lava snakes.
Okay, you
Okay.
take lava snakes. I'll take the minion chamber.
Perfect.
Uh,
Then I'm going to tinker. This is a single action. I'm not spending anything to do that, so I'll just roll normally. I crit. Okay.
Nice.
What does that mean when building a contraption? It does say, I believe. Where is it?
oh, don't forget we have the power source.
Monster science. There we go.
So every contraption is volatile in some way. Work with the GM when you finish making contraption to choose the nature of its volatility. And the volatile one in this way means that it's extra cumbersome. I think we could remove the volatility on a crit if we want to. But I can see what else works.
Yeah, basically a cannon that you're dragging around, or a sling, like a giant, like a mini catapult. Like, what is this?
I think it's an
Contraption.
oversized slingshot is what I managed to shrink it down to. I think it was originally meant to be like this. It said it's very unwieldy and heavy, so I think it was meant to be this like large thing I probably like have to plant in the ground and then pull back, and I managed to make it into a handheld heavy duty sling or slingshot. Kind of like the idea of it being a sling better, just for the
It's
visuals.
wrist mounted, some kind of slingshot kind of thing.
Yeah.
Rather than a huge crossbow that would have flung the
What
thing.
about like a bucket? So now I'm picturing like a smooth bucket, basically like a rounded bottom
Mhm.
bowl,
Yeah.
and giant swabs of leather, and it's a full body spin to use. Like you spin around, and there's the concoction in the bowl, basically.
Yeah.
You launch it, but it's a full like spin around kobold moment to like use it. It's not just
Well,
it's for the cumbersome aspect.
well,
right?
the thing is, if I just rolled a crit, so my suggestion for the crit effect is we remove the cumbersome volatility.
Oh.
I say the better option is to give it an edge. So
We
it's
could
still
give it an
cumbersome,
edge. Yeah,
but it has an edge.
I like that.
Okay. We had a question. Sorry, I'll interrupt after you guys are done. Sorry.
Okay.
Edge better than removing the downside.
Okay. What about it's cumbersome and it's heavy to carry. I don't think it really makes sense for it to be. Does it make sense for it to be quick to fire when I need to, despite like heavy for me to move but quick to fire?
Yes, it makes sense, but when you describe it that way, now I'm picturing a catapult on a like child's wagon.
I'm just imagining
kinda
like a
love that.
Gatling
Easily
gun.
deployable.
Yeah, easily deployable, but it's cumbersome, and it takes a while to
yeah,
reload it.
It's
But
on its
firing,
own
it's just
tripod, right? Like that's why it's
polygon.
cumbersome. It's enormous.
There is a different contraption that's like an actual backpack catapult, which is great. So this reminds me of that. I think if it works, I'll go with trusty instead then, because that makes it
Okay.
easy to work with. So extremely difficult to break or remove from my possession. So
Cool.
it's mine.
Your trusty concoction sling.
Nice.
Perfect. I think I will keep that. Does that still count under supply if it's a contraption, or can I put it in my gear and take something else out of my gear?
Yeah, that sounds like a gear item.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing that I discovered was a little box that's saying room descriptions on the following pages refer to you or the dungeon. When we looked at the forge, we're like, you get a downtime action, eat an extra dice
Oh,
on
we
each
forgot
downtime.
about that.
This specifically says that when it says you, it's each PC individually, so each of us got an extra dice on a downtime action.
Oh.
At this point, considering we've pretty much all used it and forgot that, not really getting used, but that is something very useful for future.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's also something we keep forgetting to use even without that, but Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Everyone
Uh,
have.
I have one gold that I think I would like to use in this case.
Cool.
I think that my minions come up to me and they're like, "Yeah, so we spent a bunch of time hiding in the vehicle bay," and they're not actually saying this, but they're like, "That place it needs to be sorted out. Like, we have to make it much more better so that obviously if we can actually use it as opposed to." What they really want is a better hiding spot. What they're pitching it as is, let's complete
Yeah.
this room.
Well, their better hiding spot is if anything goes wrong, we can take the vehicle and flee while the rest of the dungeon burns.
And I'm pretty sure I'm just nodding along. To that end, though, we're missing materials, and I don't think that's something that I can just do. We have to go on
You
a
have to do a
raid.
raid. Specifically, you have to raid to finish your vehicle bay.
Could you spend a
Sounds
gold
good.
to have them do a downtime action to find a good opportunity for that type of raid?
Nope, I'm going to nod my head sagely and agree with all of their points, and then send them off to get training to be fluent instead. I listen and hear your concerns. Now here's an upgrade that has nothing to do with any of them that you will take.
Yes.
Communication training.
Yeah, so they get all excited for like, all right, new hideout, and they open the door. It's like, this is the same room, but there's just like...
So- You've hired like,
There's
an evil tutor to show them how to speak light.
I think it's
Oh,
a
light tutor.
crystal. I think it's a dwarven like communication crystal that you like shove into a thing, and then you shove them in their chairs, and you say "watch," and they have to
You
watch
hold their
it.
eyeballs open.
Yeah.
At the crystal.
Perfect.
So yes, our trick-playing kobolds are now fluent in the light tongue.
Perfect. So when the adventurers walk in, they're just gonna actually see a bunch of talking kobolds who are like, "Yes." We should set it up as
It's
a
our
fake.
home.
We should set it up as a fake general store later.
That would be so good.
See, the
Yeah.
lovely thing is, I can't actually upgrade the trick yet because the rest of the dungeon is too low of a tier. So
We'll get to it.
It's narrative. I'm good with narrative right now.
Are we all done with
Yeah.
downtime actions?
No, there's the imps.
That's true.
Yeah, the imps gotta go. Oh, the imps gotta die.
Yep.
The imps get a single die to downtime of something.
Yes. The imps have noticed this dungeon has no bathroom. The imps have begun construction
That's what
of
the
a
lava
bathroom.
river's for.
Yeah.
The imps are building a bathroom. It is a tier 1 room. Right? Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, that's perfectly reasonable for
Mhm.
a tier 1 room. Where are they putting said bathroom?
I have
don't
not
know.
yet
That I'm sure
decided.
is not up to code.
I'm sure it's gotta be like right here, right?
I could see
like,
it right there.
I mean, I could see them putting it right before the gas trap because they're just like that.
Mm.
No, I could see it in the lava snake creature lair because you always have to go through the lava snakes to use the bathroom.
They just put it like right here.
Yeah.
The executive facilities are getting built at the end of the lava snake room.
Perfect. It's oval shaped because of course it is.
Yeah.
That's where how they built it.
It's called the Oval Office.
Yeah. I need to die though.
All right. Jordan,
Someone
you
roll
haven't
for
you
the
haven't been
imps?
able to
Oh.
roll dice, so you roll for
Alright,
the imps.
Just 2d6, right?
1d6. They get a single die.
Need a single die.
Is that in addition to the bonus die?
Do they get a bonus die?
Yeah,
get a
from the
bonus
forge.
die.
From the forge.
Oh yes.
You haven't used it for anyone
Yeah, I
Yeah.
else.
haven't used it.
Give it to the
Well,
imps.
take advantage of power tools, I guess. Lava powered tools.
A 6. So they finish it.
They're like indoor plumbing.
Perfect. So if we need to do with dungeon feature management, someone's got to deal with like unclogging the dungeon toilet. Who's taking this dungeon duty on?
I don't want that duty.
I might
Who
take.
has one? Only one of us should have one feature at this point.
I think that might be me. Hold on. Yep.
Yeah, I got
Like,
two now.
Straws and your golems are
Tier
like they're the
1
kids that don't
room
care.
unclogging the dungeon toilets.
There's one golem with a plunger for a hand now.
Like it was assigned to you, but you're like, yeah, no,
No.
I'm not doing it.
Yep.
Golem. So one of the interesting things is, I think, what was the thing that gave adventurers hearts if they go back to it? An unguarded tier 1 room or a tier 3 room?
I think it's tier 3. That's why we have a lock on their tier 3 room.
Oh yeah, you're right. If they take the desired path, had they entered the tier 3 room, they would have regained a heart each. So that's just kind of tier 1 room isn't to them. They don't care.
Yeah, okay. So we generally don't want them to enter our tier 3 rooms ever.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think we build out the dungeon. Our tier 3 rooms are just this way.
Yeah. Add more locks if we need to. Cool.
Yeah.
Then I think we are done with downtime now. How does our new evil compatriot
Yeah.
show up?
So I think at the end of downtime, we get a we get a shot of the 3 remaining denizens of this dungeon standing around the restroom, being like, "Why did they build this? All of the toilets are
Yeah.
inside."
Does everyone just say, like,
They're all too
one...
big for
Yeah.
this.
We are PCs in a video game. This is not usually a thing a video game simulates.
Yeah.
Why is there a giant fountain in the middle of the restroom?
I would imagine...
It's
a
one of
bunch
the
of imps just like
Yeah.
I would imagine everyone, in a reversal of the dib scenario at the beginning of the session, everyone just says not it for unplugging the toilet, except Nash. Well, I guess Blank can't, but maybe Blank, like, raises his hand as not it.
Yeah. The way I'm gonna do it, imps are gonna build something stupid every time they don't have anything to work on.
Yeah, because everything
So,
was
like,
already
if there's
finished.
unfinished projects, they will default to the projects.
Perfect.
That's fair.
But if they have no tasks, they will dungeon.
I love that
They will just
our
dungeon.
most optimal thing to do is to leave rooms unfinished and just hope the imps succeed.
And don't fuck it up.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's great.
So
Yeah,
Go
I think standing in the bathroom and just looking around going,
Look, we couldn't get them to build a decent pit for the lava snakes. It's all rough-hewn and shit. But this is filigreed. What are they doing?
I love that it
Yeah.
works for like they're like unintelligent and yet very intelligent.
If any of them die, I'm going to study their brains.
I mean, we can make that happen. Calls an imp over, kills it.
You just reach out and
Offers
grab an
body
imp out
to
of the
Nash.
stall.
grab it
Grab
by
it
its
out of the
face
air.
mask.
Hands body to Nash.
That's convenient.
You
Will you
shake it a
stop
bit.
breaking those? I'm sure there's a limit sometime.
And
you
just like
shake it a
another one
bit.
pops in, like in the background.
Yeah,
One
you
number
hear
higher
a
on the
flush,
helmet.
and you hear a flush, and it comes out.
it comes out of the toilet.
Perfect.
Are they laying eggs in there? What is going on?
It's their spawn point.
Yeah, they built it and set their spawn.
Yeah.
Yep. They're murky from Heroes of the Storm.
Mm.
Yeah. Got an executive restroom.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we're all standing in the restroom and we hear what do we hear coming from the entrance to the dungeon?
It sounds like drinking songs.
And there's a chorus of how many dwarves responding to the call-in response dwarves.
I
So we
rolled
hear-
1d4 plus 1 and I got 5. How many
So we
minions they
hear
are?
one gravelly voice screaming, "I've lost my tankard," and then you hear 5 slightly deeper voices like call
Yeah.
back, "Where did it go?" or whatever.
Well, funnily
99
enough,
bottles, yeah.
the voice that you hear leading the sounds a lot like Cold, but like not. It's almost like he made a new character
Like from the
after his other
player.
one died.
Perfect.
Same
Nash is
player,
like,
so that's why he knew where to come.
what is it now?
Yeah. So the group of y'all make it to the guard room to see what the commotion is, and what do we see? What does our new goblin friend look like?
Our goblin friend is very tall for a goblin. He's actually like probably normal sized. like
So he
person
took the
size.
racial trait hobgoblin, which is like
Yeah.
some goblins are sneaky, some of them are part orc, and some
Yeah.
of them are hobgoblins.
So he's a red hobgoblin. He has a human equivalent of a katana on his hip. He's wearing like samurai-esque armor. He's got sunglasses on. He's got he's got a battle standard in the armor, right? So it's just like a flag, a drinking horn at the side,
Oh,
and
you
just
have a
a bag.
standard. What is your sigil?
Oh, it's a horn of mead, like the drinking horn that he has on
it's a
his hip.
drinking horn.
It's
Okay.
a drinking horn, yeah. And he's standing there with here I'll enlarge this token I made and add it to
Oh.
the map. But the dwarves look like that. They're like soccer hooligans.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
they look like
there's-
they're out of Blood Bowl.
Yeah, those are chaos dwarves. I just
Yeah.
grabbed them.
So
Perfect.
there's a group of dwarves. You've all seen dwarves before, but you look at these closely and you can see that darkness is clearly residing within these dwarves. There is no light that shines within their hearts.
No, there's just 5 rowdy like football hooligans.
Perfect.
He goes, "Oh, this is a great place to make camp."
What do you want? We're not buying whatever it is you're selling.
No, I heard you had a vacancy.
Where did you hear that?
I'm here to. My friend Cold came to me as a golden demon.
Nash says with a straight face, I don't know who that is. There's just the 3 of us here. There only ever has been.
I can't break RP. A golden god came to me and said, "Go to this mountain and they'll need you." So I came here with my buddies. Oh shit! I need to name them. I forgot I need to name them.
I think Blank reaches out an arm from under his cloak and like goes to pat you on the head, but instead decides to stop and then is like, "Wait, you're actually tall. Everyone else is short. You're tall." So his hand just stays hovering, like measuring your height.
You still say crouch though. The hands just
The hand is just like high up there, yeah.
I heard you're in need of my powers as a marauder. I've brought my compatriots. This is Belch. This is Gag. This is Hurl. Wretch. And Puke.
Cool. Yeah. You get 1 downtime action to make yourself at home in the dungeon.
Yeah, Nash just says, fine, I guess we're just an orphanage for the lost and helpless.
Wait, do I still get a
What
downtime
the
action?
hell is that smell?
That's Belch.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Gold's done.
Wait, do I get a downtime?
Downtime action. You gotta make your mark on the dungeon, I think is the salient point.
And if everyone gets a +1, that we want to get, like, Jordan gets a +1 too on.
Yeah, it's a dungeon power.
Okay.
Unless someone really wants to fight the newcomer.
No, I'm just mocking him.
Darkness in the eyes of these dwarves. We're
Yeah,
good.
mocking's fine, but I think you get your action to like it's your move-in scene to the dungeon. So like, what's the first thing you do when you get checked in and register your ID card or whatever?
I'm gonna build a room for my minions to hang out in.
Perfect. It's just gonna be rowdy parties and like indoor football, and it's just gonna be like they're gonna be the rude roommates of this whole dungeon.
Yeah, they're gonna get a little like bunkhouse like right here. Just gonna try and build them just a tier 1 room. I will smash to do it.
You want to re-roll with worse position?
Yes.
Please reroll. Let's see how this goes.
A 5.
Okay.
So I think a 5 means you do it with a cost.
Well,
Yeah.
with even worse of cost, yeah.
With a worse than normal cost because it's of the reroll, yeah. That's 5.
I have a suggestion.
I think
for
all
that.
of our good dice in the raid are coming back to bite us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What is your
Yes, of course.
suggestion for a cost?
Have a door into the vehicle bay through that room that completely bypasses the law.
No.
It's a good cost.
That is
It goes
too
all the-
strong, I think.
Yeah,
Well,
this
it's
is
a
just
matter of they
normal
might
position.
choose that door. They're still randomly choosing the door of what we want them to do or what we don't want them to do, and there's 3 other doors in that room, so they may
That's
never
fair.
even find it.
I'm down to take shock to brains because I'm having to like plan out this room. Like,
I mean, shock to brain seems like a normal, like a penalty before you increase the cost.
Might be 2 shocks or something
Yeah,
like that.
well, the shock should go to your main stat, I think, with normal.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
fair.
so
normal
So that'd be
position.
shock to muscle, I think, is your main
Yeah.
stat.
yeah,
Shock
I
to
will
muscle.
resist that.
Cool.
By
I'm
being
gonna
more muscly.
more muscly.
Ah, sick.
Yeah.
Great. All right.
So
No,
full resist. I take 1 stress.
one stress and you're good. You have dug out the bunkhouse.
The bunkhouse. It just looks like a Buffalo Wild Wings. That's what it looks like.
Yep. There's just loud pub music from it, even through the closed door. Perfect.
So this is just a regular tier 1 room, correct?
Yeah, that's just where they
Yeah.
live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you could not have completed it in one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one downtime action. Our dungeon's gonna get big very fast, and I love it.
It's not connected to the other room, but I'm gonna put it like right here.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
obviously still a door, like, separation
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pathing that first room is going to be a nightmare.
Yep. You enter the dungeon. You see 5 doors leading in all different directions.
Well, there's 4 doors, and I think we roll for what way we want them to go and what way we don't want them to go. So as
Yeah,
we
it's gonna
decide
be.
to do the rolls,
We'll see how
it's
it
going to be a
goes.
matter of we eliminate this door, we eliminate that door until we finally figure out what door they're going through.
I don't think it's gonna be too bad, but yeah.
Anyways, we're about to find out. So
I don't know. There's not always an attack every blowback, though. I don't think.
Well, there is calamity every time.
Yes, which we haven't seen what it is yet.
Calamity is next.
so we don't have a raid every section.
Not
Oh.
inherently, I believe.
Not inherently.
The
No.
the intro to the game forced a raid just so we knew
Yeah.
how it worked.
Okay.
Yeah. But we are going to make a calamity roll, which is how much grumbling is there in your dungeon?
Mm-hmm. So atmosphere, does it feel like a dungeon? More so than before, I would say, between how
Yeah.
how we
Oh, yeah.
expanded the rooms and made them very dungeony.
We actively made room for people to be in and be happy about.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, growth works, I think, quite well.
Yeah, we made like 3 rooms.
Almost doubled our size of our dungeon.
Hierarchy. So our weaker ones can be faced before larger ones.
No.
Yes.
That depends because the
I'm
dark,
going to call the snakes lower than your minions.
the snakes are low. The kobolds are not combat strength strong at all.
No,
I mean, we
but
had
you.
a yes last time, and I actively made the tier 2 room at the end of our thing. Because it was all tier 1.
Yeah, the
before
tier 2 room you made for the minion chambers at the end. That's true. I'd say it's a bit messy, but for me it would be leaning more towards yes than no if it was a binary.
Mhm.
Okay. Has there been a steady flow of loot into the dungeon?
Yeah.
We
So
just
far,
had a
so
big
good.
influx.
Yeah, you just had a big influx. Have you done your worthy masters? So yeah, you've destroyed a town, but from the minions' perspective, really all that happened from it was you brought back a tattered couch.
We did
And then
garner
the guy
a
who wanted to use it need to go away.
We did garner a reputation of evil, though.
We absolutely
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
We just killed an imp for no reason other than, because I wanted to study a brain.
All right. Well, it sounds like we get 3 dice this time.
Sounds about right.
Too happy or
wants to
scared to
roll?
complain, yeah.
Who wants to roll for?
I got it.
A
4.
All right. That's
Mhm.
mixed.
Yep.
You suffer a minor calamity.
Do you
And then
want
a
to roll randomly, or do you want to choose?
Someone roll a 2d6.
I will do that one. A 2 and a 5.
25 or 52.
52 makes more sense to me than 25.
Oh,
But I like both.
Yeah.
I like 52.
Is it this bridge?
It's the
I mean,
only
I guess-
bridge.
Or other simple structure.
Yeah, there could be like a cave in while they were moving stuff through the tunnels, or
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
I
the
do
idea
think
that
that the
I like
I
the
do-
idea that this bridge didn't completely collapse, but like a section of it did, and it became way unstable. So every time it's now a risk crossing it unless we patch it up.
I like that because also later on we can turn it into like a dungeon room or like a trap or something later if we spend downtime on it.
Exactly, but right now it's just a risk to us.
Yeah.
Right.
If we go with that, who wants to volunteer their minions to get bloodied?
I didn't say it was a good idea.
I can volunteer
I
my
do-
golems. They're pretty heavy.
Yeah, I honestly really like. Oh no! I think we are going with the plants,
Okay.
and I think it's in the vehicle bay.
So for the stream, let's just read it out loud. Voracious plants sprout from the ceiling of a well-traveled hallway, looking for a meal.
So as
Yeah, I'm
my
gonna
guys
twist
are
it.
sitting in the vehicle
I'm
bay
gonna
staring at a
twist-
crystal, we get a shot of the plants just coming out of
Yeah.
the ceiling.
I think we're gonna twist it a little bit. Yeah, the vehicle bay is filled with a deadly moss. So a deadly moss has begun to sprout in the vehicle bay, adding an extra layer to you needing to get
So we need to
rid of-
clear the
we need to
moss
clear
and
the-
then get stuff for the
because you've
vehicle bay.
left it to fester.
Yep, I like it. I want to transplant that into a creature layer later, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, but right now
yeah.
there's deadly moss in the vehicle bay.
Yeah,
You can even make it like a trap.
we'll figure it out. But yeah, no, I agree.
But right now it's not anything. Okay.
Yeah.
We
you wanna-
forgot something.
Uh-oh. What did we forget?
Look at the top left of the map.
What?
+1 loot die to next raid.
We did that.
Yeah.
We,
That's what I mentioned that.
that was from the Dead Adventurer from we included that.
From
Oh, that was from the
Yeah.
Dead Adventure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, every adventurer's +1 loot die.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was from something else.
No, I think
All
that
right,
was
cool. We didn't forget it.
that. Okay.
Okay, so we've got moldy nonsense.
Yeah.
moldy vehicle.
Oh, voracious. Yeah. Okay.
So
Carnivorous moss.
carnivorous moss sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, do we go raiding again already?
I think we could go into free play. Let me check how much free play features in this game's cycle.
Yeah, this is our
Lurking,
downtime.
calamity, raiding, blowback. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think we're already.
Yep, I think we're back to
Yeah.
raiding.
Yeah, something does happen though. While we're doing this downtime, we get many shots of adventurers combing the mountains, and we get sounds of battle from over in the direction of the giant gargoyle. And one morning, as Nash is sneaking out of the dungeon to keep staring at it, we see a battered pack of adventurers. They're very badly wounded, but they like try to take refuge. Like they're running down the bridge and they're very badly wounded, and they make it into your courtyard.
Those poor soon-to-be dead adventurers.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is what happens. But you have been the dungeon entrance has been spotted by adventurers. There's like 3 of them. They're all very badly wounded, and they're not quite ready to like delve into a dungeon. But
But they know we're here.
they're in your courtyard.
They're
What
like
are- what
here.
are- Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
there. They're
Oh.
very badly. It's not supposed to be a full-on like dungeon
Yeah.
incursion,
Okay.
but this
Are
is
we
something that
able
is
to
happening in the world that is after the downtime. Like this is
Yeah. So
the
this is just like
continuation of the
adventurers
world.
go to the entrance of the dungeon and like stop and make camp here without going further in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were running from the gargoyle, and this was the safest place.
Perfect.
And of
Yeah.
course, all of our minions don't bother telling us about it. We're busy in the sanctum, which is why we don't do anything about it.
Could
Yeah,
we do?
that
Is
is
this
what-
something we only find about it after, or do we want to try and attack?
No, you
them?
see this happen. This is like not like a dungeon incursion, but this is stuff happening in the world before we cycle straight into
Yeah, this is free
planning the
play.
next raid.
Then
is
Yeah,
free
can
play.
this is like a full free play scene
I
in place of a full-on dungeon incursion, because I don't think that fits for
Yeah.
right now.
I think Nash is gonna look at Blank and say, "You think we could get some to ask them about what's going on? Get some prisoners, get some materials, take their gear." And I imagine we're just like staring at them from behind the door or something like that.
What I
Yeah.
imagine the like statues outside. They have little eye holes we can like peek out of.
Yes. I
We have
think
to
that
like
there is-
climb up into the statue from. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
You're like, get their gear, and the easy answer for that is blank knocks an arrow. We get a loot die from killing these things. They're nice here to provide bunches of loot, but he does look around to the rest of you before just shooting to see if he
Yeah,
should.
If you could sneak up to them, we could poison their food. Then they all just fall asleep and never wake up.
Dungle will Dugnall, not Dungle.
You did this to yourself.
I did it to
Dungle.
myself. I'm just gonna call him Doug. Doug is gonna unsheath his katana and go, "I'm ready for whatever we decide to do."
Have they?
I'm gonna. I have a thing I can do now that I have adept minions. I think they're going to create an ice storm on the bridge.
Blocking them in.
Yes, blocking them in and making their escape very, very slippery and slidey. And yes,
Into the lava pit.
All right.
so they are going to invoke.
Yeah. So from the perspective of the adventurers, they're like huddled around a bundle of sticks, trying to like strike up a campfire, as like their combat meter is finally left, and they hear chanting, and ice is falling, and starts to snow.
But like
Lovely
lightly
powdery
snow.
snow.
Yeah,
I like it's Christmassy. It's
they're like, "Oh, it's so
purely a mood
nice."
setting.
Yeah, they get
It gives
an
you a warning that
amazement buff.
something's going on.
Amazement buff.
Are they
They
still
are
trying to
amazed.
light a fire and like using
Yeah.
flint and tinder?
Yeah, but they have like a passive buff for like the beauty of the snow in the mountains.
I'm
And I
going.
think that they're looking around as we like do anything next, because they know something's up if it's snowing inside a mountain in the lava cave.
Yeah, and you hear the sizzle as the snow falls on the mountain river below. And they pull out some little field rations, which I think are like unicorn rabbits that they take the jacket off and use their horn to prop them up in front of the little fires. They prepare like a lunch.
Right as like at least one of them is like bending over the fire, from a hidden distance, I'm gonna try to use my launch. I'm gonna like set up my launcher and launch a jar of fire oil right into the fire and basically like have it splash all over them. It needs a spark to start. It's basically just oil. I'm just like,
flinging. So really, you have a slingshot and a bottle of olive oil. You're like, all right.
yep, and just right at the fire when someone's over it. I'm gonna try and burn them alive.
All right, because they are inspired by the beauty of snow in the mountains. You have reduced. It's not extra risk because you're from within the safety of like your dark and spooky dungeon entrance, but reduced effect.
They're probably
because
ready
they'll
to jump back or something if they're
Yeah,
aware something weird's
they'll hear
happening.
the tinkle of the snow and like
Yeah.
jump back on like an instinct they didn't know they had.
Yeah, the snow warns them. The like snow spirits warn them of danger or something. Okay. So are we in a dominant position still, or what do we think?
I think not anymore because with the snow, they know something's going on here. Like,
That is true, but I think, as Indigo just said, that might be reducing the effect.
Yeah,
rather
I
than-
think.
okay,
Yeah, I think. Well, my point would normally. I think you're at a normal effect because it's not like.
It would negate the surprise from, yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be a normal effect, and like a normal position because you're not like doing something super stealthy. You're like launching a bottle at them. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna see it happen if it works.
'Kay.
If it fails, they still see a bottle get launched. You're not, but you're not exposed. You're still within the safety of your dun. Like they're not gonna be able to strike immediately.
I think I'm going to use one of my dark hearts for a bonus die. That brings me to 2 dice, one from finesse, which I'm precisely hitting this right on the thing, so I think that's finesse. And one for a dark heart. Does anyone want to assist me?
yes, actually, that sounds like a great idea. If you're all right, as you're like, aiming your slingshot, I'm like, I just grab the hand and like position it like, nope, that's where you want to put it to actually shoot there.
Perfect.
Nice try.
She says, I think she is going to look at you and just say, don't tell me what to do. But she doesn't move her hand back or anything like that. She's just lashes out. Okay. I think I'll stick with the 2 bonus dice. Let's see how this goes.
So you launch oil, and the bottle breaks. It doesn't light on fire, but because it was like olive oil, it wasn't.
It wasn't like oil. It was
It wasn't like a flammable oil.
It is fire oil. I think it is supposed to be very flammable, but I could imagine it hits the campfire, like bounces without the jar breaking open, and then keeps going.
It just rolls, and then they
It's a pit of
turn.
lava, and as
they
it hits the pit of lava, there's like an explosion down
Yeah.
below.
And there's like a poof of fire that sprouts up. And then they all turn and look into the dungeon and they all make eye contact with you. Your like beady kobold eyes in the darkness of the entrance.
I will charge with my dark dwarves.
You just burst open the door.
Yeah.
The Gorklin and the Kobold are like, oh, and we duck too late.
Yeah, you charge, they counter charge because what else are they gonna do at this point? Alright, give me a smash.
I'm gonna use my battle master, so I'm gonna spend stress to fight them on equal footing.
Okay, nice. All by yourself.
Nice.
Well, I'm also bringing my dwarf, so like now we have the advantage.
Does that
Uh,
cost morale?
I mean, you're fighting a group as a group. You're already on equal footing.
Then I do some other incredible feat of athletics, like get behind them.
That's fair. Yeah, if you want to like jump over them or something like that.
Yeah.
Jump
Or just
over them and block the bridge as your dwarves come
Yeah.
on the other side.
So
All right.
flying pincer, I guess. I don't know how to describe
Flying
it.
pincer
Yeah, you could just
maneuver.
like charge through them before and then get to the other side before they.
Ooh, I like, because I'm bringing my dwarves with me. It's the 5 of them are like basically like assisting jumping me, so that I land behind them and they're still charging it.
It's like
Where it's like you
cheerleaders.
charge-
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the dwarves cheerleader launch you over them. You
Yeah.
land with your sword drawn towards them, and you yeah, you got a 6. All but there's 3 adventurers. They're all already injured. So like 2 of them are dead. Like you immediately take out. two of them, and there's just like the wizard they had in the middle with his like staff. Like,
So, do we get a loot die for each adventurer being killed here?
no, it's gonna be +1. For,
That's
like,
fair.
the
These guys
group
are
of
already
them.
injured, so it's not a.
Yeah.
it's
They're
not-
they're
so-
injured and not supposed to be like a full contest. It's just supposed to be.
With the wizard down, I'm gonna put my sword at him and say, "Stop. Maybe no kill now."
And then an arrow comes and
and then Blank just shoots with an arrow.
And then an arrow comes.
shoot in the back. Unless, wait, does Chains want to do anything?
I had a couple things.
Please, never mind, you first.
So there's only one left.
Yep,
Yeah.
an injured wizard.
Sweet. I'm going to throw out my sack of ball bearings, and they're all going to come up around the wizard, spinning and encasing him in a rather painful force field.
Ooh,
Cool.
I like it.
yeah, it's restrained
So
the
I
wizard.
am basically using invoke to threaten him into staying right the fuck there. And you know what? I'm gonna go hard. Great with greater effect. So I'm gonna be right up next to him, like intently doing this.
Cool.
I will
Uh,
also help you with that. So double effect.
Okay. So when I go hard, I can overload. So that's another +1 die. With a 5.
Yeah. So yeah, you. What would mixed be? Because you definitely get him. Like you definitely restrain the wizard with a 5.
Does the wizard get a spell off before the restraint is fully in place?
Yeah. I do think the aura of lightning shielding or whatever that the wizard has is like a passive protection spell. Interacts poorly with the ball bearings, and you, both of you actually, because get like shocked, so you get stress or strained for electrical damage.
I'm gonna resist with muscles. I'm just gonna
You're gonna
smash my way through it.
outmuscle electricity.
Yeah.
Cool.
Kind of did it.
2 stress, partial resist.
That's fine.
I am a master of electromagnetism, so invoke to
I
resist.
mean, that makes sense. You're gonna.
So you just move the shock.
No good.
Nope.
Still a partial resist, so you can move the shock to a different stat.
Yeah. Yeah, pick where you want the shock for both of you. And that's it. You have restrained the
Brains.
wizard, situation resolved. What are we
I
doing
think-
with them? Are we just gonna keep them?
After the combat is over, an arm reaches out of the cloak and just cuffs Nash, like for failing to hit.
Cuffs? What do you mean cuffs?
Oh,
Like smacks you.
Oh.
that.
Like,
Okay.
pop
She
behind the ear.
bites your hand.
She what?
She bites your hand hard, like as hard as she can, with her sharp kobold teeth.
She, I think I lift up my hand and
She's still holding on.
like,
Yeah.
like lift you off of the ground and like chucks you at the other two.
Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
you-
gets up after
You
recovers
thought you
herself.
rolled through the snow a little bit and get
Yeah.
up and have to dust off.
She says, "I told you what happened if you did that again."
You get one word, and it is aim. And then I headed back into the dungeon.
From how they
Perfect.
carry themselves, I don't think he talks that much, though. That was legitness.
She's just muttering
yeah,
under her
I-
breath, like words of how Nash is the worst, of how Blank is the worst, and how she totally was aiming, and it must have been the wind from the snowstorm, and wasn't my fault.
So do wizards need like somatic and verbal components in this setting?
I don't know.
It's either we either loot the staff or we loot the spell book. It's one or the other.
I mean, we'll figure that out on the next loot roll.
Yeah,
No,
however it
no.
is they
I do
cast.
think you can disable their magic in some physical, painful way for sure.
That's what I was going for. Do I cripple his hands or break his jaw? What do I have to do?
One of
Could be
those will
both.
do it. Like you break his hands and his jaw, and it doesn't matter anymore.
You know what? When Doug sees you do that, he's just gonna like take the hands and the jaw. Like he's just gonna go, oh, no, we don't want that healing anyway, so let's just do that.
Just like cut them off.
Cut them off and
Use
then
it to
like cut out the
bleed out
tongue.
from blood loss.
He's fine.
Yeah.
I certainly have no objections.
My dark impulse is recklessness. So.
All right. Well, we have a handless, broken.
You could cut
we're
off
gonna say-
fingers, which are
we're gonna
grosser
say
but less
broken
likely to kill
jawed-
him.
Broken
That's fair.
jawed wizard with no hands that is dragged, crying, bleeding into the dungeon.
Which is kind of amusing because we have no prison, we have no secure way of actually keeping him. So we'll see exactly how
Good
that
luck
goes.
climbing out of here with no
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah, that was the point of disabling the wizard. We don't have a place to securely put him, so let's neutralize.
Is it more cruel to just take his thumbs because then he can't do anything?
Well, that's why I did that. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am cruel.
Yep. All right. We'll deal with them on the next downtime if we want to torture them.
Yeah.
I'm ready to start at least talking about our next raid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I
we should
have an
probably get
idea.
the vehicle bay done.
I like the
I
vehicle
also
bay
have
being
an
done. I like the idea of, in the middle of a big adventuring party attacking the gargoyle, we sneak into the gargoyle's treasure and take it all while no one else is paying
Ooh.
attention. I just like that idea.
Can we shelve that idea until I actually have a point in Skulk? I
But
just
that's
need
how
one
you
more roll.
get a point in Skulk. I need one more action too. It's great.
Well, let's
What-
review
what-
the
What if we
dungeon sheet.
lower the dungeon sheet?
Let's check the dungeon sheet and let's check our plan. We wrote a plan.
Yeah.
We did.
We
We
still
need to
need to
grow the
grow the
horde, which
horde.
means we need to pillage if we want to grow our dungeon tier, which I assume would be roughly the same.
Yeah, so regardless, we kind of need to do a setup raid and then a pillage. And the pillage we also need for the vehicle bay. So it makes sense to do a pillage no matter what we're doing.
Do you need the pillage for a vehicle bay?
Yeah,
We
what-
need a pillage to finish the horde. The vehicle bay might be its own separate thing.
It is its
Yeah.
own separate raid to do the vehicle bay. A pillage requires a setup and then a pillage.
Ooh,
Okay,
also pillaging, it needs to be a faction higher tier than us.
Yes, it would have to be a tier 1 faction. That's true.
Acquire
Tier
the
1 or higher,
materials-
but we only need to be tier 1, and I figured less.
So we
was
could
better.
strike to get the materials for the vehicle bay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or we could stealth
We could
So
know
you're
who-
right,
or
we have to-
negotiate.
Yeah.
okay.
You know who probably has materials for a vehicle bay? The Spirits of Industry, who are both nearby.
That's what I was gonna say.
And
Yeah.
where we found our original vehicle bay.
We're moving to factions, right?
Looking
Yeah.
at factions, because I assume we're gonna have to take it from someone else.
Who to strike? Yeah, the spirit of industry, like that. That sounds like some zombie dwarves who have
Zombie dwarves and golems again.
workshops. Well, we don't know if these ones will have golems.
That's true. But I think we want to find out.
They'll have stuff you need though. So
Yeah.
yeah.
This
Sounds
is
like
these are the
that's your-
Dwemer runes of this island, basically.
yeah.
So are we going to try and pillage them or strike?
I think
Are we-
strike, and then we'll have to pillage someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we could pillage them too.
See, the
I
thing
mean,
is
you
that the
could assault
pillage
with
is double-
the.
We could
Right.
assault, but
Or
assault
dead.
last time didn't go well because we basically assaulted to get our dungeon, and it was
Mhm.
difficult. Strike makes the most sense, I think, in this case. Get what we need and get out.
I guess the question is, if we're doing a pillage because we're going to have to do that, and it's 2 raids, how can we make that most effective?
I think we have
Well-
to do them separately, in my opinion.
Yeah, for pillaging, you need to do like a setup raid plan, and then that setup raid plan allows the second raid to happen.
I don't
right?
think we can do a setup raid that I can think of narratively that would also let us get our
Yeah,
vehicle
you need
bay.
a
So
separate raid. So
the question
need a
is, do we want to do the vehicle bay first or the pillage first?
I think we probably want a vehicle bay, so then that'll help us pillage.
Yeah. I think having a getaway car for the pillage is probably a good idea. And it means we can pillage something much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
and much further away. All right, so strike then, because that gets us what we want.
Yeah, so it's a smash and grab with a strike. We care about nothing but the objective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're raiding the ancient factories of the mountains.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
How do we get in? Who signals to get out? Who guards your prize? Okay, we know who guards it.
Yeah. Yeah. The husks of former workers still
Yep.
toiling
And whatever
away
else they might have
endlessly.
created, I think.
Yeah,
is what
whatever
we're-
they created to defend the place.
Okay.
We know where they are. They're in the mountain next door.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who can or how we get in? Can we try and get in like from beneath, like from tunnels underneath?
I think we'd need. I have later contraptions that are like mining drills, but I don't know if we have narratively the justification to tunnel in from below yet.
Okay.
Yes, we
Maybe not
do.
narrative
Oh?
justification.
We have spinning,
Oh.
pulverizing chains that work better on stone.
Well, that's true. We could make basically an effective drill with that.
And I have the flashback that lets me scout a location.
Oh.
You want to use that now to have been scouting
Oh, you
out a
can. That's
location?
a flashback.
Yeah, that makes sense in this case.
To have
Yeah.
been
Well,
doing that
flashback
during-
would be.
Well, right now it would be that
You were doing it during
Blank
the
spends
downtime
a
phase.
day. Yeah, Blank spends
Yeah.
a day to go run across a hex or two to like check it out, report back in, and we'll see what the results are later if you decide you need to use the flashback.
I
Yeah.
think I go with blank because one of my flashbacks is surveying a target's strength. So just narrative justification for that.
So we send a scouting party out into the mountains to track down one of these fabled ancient factories, and you come back successful, having located a. You're not sure what they do, but they have large rolly doors, and you see
Those mean factory.
Yep.
So one of us found the strength, and the other of us looked for the best place to tunnel in for the chains.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So we're going to go in through the chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just
So-
found out where it was from the scouting.
So that would that be like a calculated strike, or are you trying to do a stealthy ambush?
I think
Because
we're
right
still
now,
doing
Yeah, I think we're still doing strike. Bust in, get what you want, and run out.
Yeah, we're not trying to stealthily tunnel in. We're just trying to bypass some of the stuff in our initial thing and just rush in.
Yeah.
Who signals to get out? So how do we know once we've gotten what we need? I don't think I have a way to make a loud noise right now.
someone who speaks.
Who speaks? Blank types in all
Belch!
chat. Time
Make
to
your
leave.
loudest burp as our signal when we go.
Belch. Aye,
but then on
Captain.
the other hand, if Jungle is fighting like whatever the defenders are, he's not going to know when you've acquired all of the like sleds or whatever we happen to find to build vehicles out of.
Can I actually volunteer either Chains or Nash, simply because Nash is the most likely to actually be finding whatever crafting material we need for the vehicle bay.
That's true. Nash probably has in her head, like, okay, we need these parts.
And it is also possibly
so
metal, which is why I'm suggesting else.
Yeah, Varn can definitely make some noise if needed. So, and if we've already got someone defending, having a striker with the person scouting seems viable. Like if you know what, excuse me, if you know what's needed, I can bodyguard as we go through.
Nice.
Okay.
So So Blank and Dugnar are basically a distraction of let's keep the forces occupied while you two go in raid and then signal us with something very loud that okay, it's time to get out of here.
Yeah, I might just like flashback a like flashbang or loud single use like booming device that would make it obvious.
Mhm.
Well, something. I mean, clanging two bits of metal together is
Probably pretty
Mark.
common in a place like this, so I'd make something a bit more unique.
Okay.
We'll see what we have.
So Team B is responsible for
Yeah.
signaling.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
flashback
T-
to make the appropriate signal when I know once
So-
we are.
I've
Team
got
A, Doug Knoll and Blank, who are going to be mostly fighting, and then Team B is
Varn and Nash will be
Varn
looting.
and Nash. Okay,
Yep.
got it.
Okay.
And what guards are prized? Do we want to have any knowledge of that? And
I don't know if we can without starting our raid. I don't.
Yeah. It depends on what the footing is what level
Yeah.
of defenders exist.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Do we want to start the roll?
We
Yeah,
think
we wanna
could
set it
pull
up
off
and then-
this raid real fast.
I don't think we can pull it up, but I think just like
we can
leave
we can
off with the
cliffhanger it.
engagement roll, and then
And
that
do
gives you
some
time to do some
plan.
planning. And
Yeah,
then-
we can do the engagement and then stop there.
Yeah, we'll do engagement and then figure out XP and stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So pulls up engagement again.
Dungeon tier versus the target factions tier.
They're higher.
They
they're
are higher.
higher.
They are tier 1, I think.
Tier 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're tier
Yep.
1.
Okay. Next is the targets is particularly strong or weak against this chosen plan.
They don't seem to be. We're actively trying to bypass the singular strength we saw.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
main strength is they're a mountain factory. They're
Yeah.
expecting to have to like defend the entrances.
And we're
not the
intentionally
walls.
distracting them by having them do that.
And bypassing it. So I think
Yeah.
that they aren't particularly strong. In fact, they might even
I
be
would say
particularly-
they're particularly weak from what we know at least.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where we're working with good or bad information. I'd say neither. I'd say we have some information, but we don't have particularly good or bad.
Yeah, we're middling information, but we didn't actually like
You know they're
go-
gonna have some mechanical monstrosity to help them.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's what you experienced last time.
Yeah.
But like that's about as much as you know.
They've not been hit by us before. Have they been caught on? Are they caught unaware? Do we think?
They technically have been hit by you before.
The
they
faction,
technically
yeah, actually,
have.
you're right. The faction has
They
been.
haven't been hit by us before. But I think that they are generally unaware just because the spirit of industry does not seem like it's something that is
We've established it as not.
It
fully
itself is
sentient.
generally unaware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's its whole shtick. It's unaware and never ending.
Capitalism.
And then recent
I
events.
love that your nobilis character has a faction in our.
Yeah.
You know what? That is just meaningless labor.
Yeah.
It's the spirit of industry.
Your body is consigned to your labor.
Recent events in the sandbox is the faction on the lookout for trouble, which I think we already rolled into our previous thing
not
of having hit them.
particularly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many dice are we
This
thinking?
seems middling for me, like 2 dice.
Yeah, probably like middling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
it
did something to
was-
get around it, but they're also
The final tally was like +1 to y'all. So the 0 to 1 or 1
1 to 2?
being
Or
the
how
start
is it?
up to 2.
Yeah.
2 makes sense.
it feels like 2, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
toss up.
I guess I'll roll this too, if that's good.
Yeah.
Ooh, go ahead.
Now, before I roll it, are we willing to do devil's bargains on engagement rolls? I've been open to it when I've GM Blades, but it's not clear in the Blades text.
I don't have a good like thing for you. Like I don't really know.
Usually the devil's bargains, or in this case, what are they called? Dark bargains, need to be big deals for engagement rolls.
Yeah, it would have to be something like taking the spirit of industry away from our imps or something along those lines.
That's fair. I was wondering if it was something like
They have patrols.
later on. My dark bargain is that later on, the tunnels that we tunneled in are still there, and later on, someone else can come in through it to us.
Oh, we're not tunneling from our place to there.
Are we not tunneling direct?
going.
It's multiple hexes. Like you're gonna walk to the other mountain.
I thought we were
and
just
then
like
tunnel
going
from the
all. I
start.
was like, wow, okay, that makes more
I
sense.
don't think you're. See, like I can buy tunneling into the building. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
But tunneling under an entire hex
That's fair.
feels like a stretch without
Yeah.
like
That's a project.
Yeah, it's a project that involves having like a giant drill mobile.
That's
like...
what I was arguing in the beginning. Was I thought that is what we were doing, so I thought we'd need that. That makes more sense.
We could do a double bargain of whatever tunnel we tunnel in will collapse behind us, so we'll have to find a different way out.
Oh, I don't like
nice
that.
devil's bargain that doesn't affect you, jerk.
Well, my idea is that we're all going in through our
Mhm.
secret
Oh, I
tunnel.
thought you guys were like
No matter
striking
where
the
they
front
fucking
as we were
come.
tunneling in.
Oh no, I thought
Okay.
we were going in through the tunnel with you guys and just holding the tunnel until we get out.
Yeah. We're
Oh,
holding
gotcha.
the tunnel.
Like pushback resistance, you run aside, grab,
Yeah.
and come back.
But with this devil's bargain, it's a matter of we go into the tunnel.
We all go
hold
in.
The tunnel, but the tunnel's going to be dead, so we're going to have to go out the front way.
You have to fight your way out.
What
I think
if-
I'm not. I'm just gonna roll then. Most of
Okay.
these and my other ideas sound like things that would come out of the dice and are results of what the dice roll is, rather than separate consequences.
This might be a big deal, but maybe a dark bargain could be you take the +1 die, but our imps lose their downtime.
Well, that's why what I was saying with
Yeah.
the spirit of industry is taken from the imps. Like
Yeah.
it's
For like
they
distinct
become
downtime.
less effective.
Yeah.
I'm willing.
But
for
that's not
that if
not
Indigo
permanent
is.
enough for
I don't know. Yeah, that a downtime
If it's
action feels a bit
permanent, but-
smaller than.
Okay.
I'd say no
Yeah.
devil's bargain.
Yeah, just do the 2 dice.
4, so
All right.
equal footing
It's not bad.
Equal footing.
is where we'll start off with.
Yeah.
I'm so curious
Makes
to know.
sense.
Okay, equal footing. What room did we just tunnel into?
The barracks.
That would be. We'll see what we'll see what we tunnel.
That
into.
might be too
I
brutal.
have to figure out what their bad guys are, because it's still not the dwarves. It's still not the husks.
Yeah, the dwarves are there for flavor, and they're building the actual bad guys. We had golems.
Yeah,
I
I'll
mean,
figure something out
We
in
can
the.
figure that out in between.
We'll
sessions.
figure it in
the
between. I
meantime.
like one of my ideas is this place is absolutely like inhumanly packed with traps.
They're just all traps.
It's
That's
trap.
Sentient
what
traps.
Inventory was like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
they took over our last one, so let's just trap everything everywhere.
Yeah, it's the Mechanical Mimic Corp.
Oops, all traps.
Yep. But we'll figure it out.
So is that then on to end of session?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're gonna work on our XP stuff.
Yeah.
So for each thing, did you make progress on your master plan? I think
we
the
did.
looting counted as
Yeah, it's growing the horde.
yeah.
And
Okay.
we actively put effort towards looting.
Should we make growing the horde a clock that fills with?
It depends
You
if we
know,
want to finish it with a pillaging raid, which will, I assume, complete that step, or do we want to make it a clock?
Think
Either the
honestly, I
pillaging
feel
raid or
like
just-
doing the laid out current plan of loot to build your vehicle bay, set up a pillage, we'll finish growing the horde.
I think
Yeah,
I agree.
that would be 5 sessions for one step.
Yeah, and it's meant to be. I think that's good, personally.
And I'd say that if we get something really, really good looting here, we might finish it early, but that's
We'll figure out what makes sense narratively. Yeah.
Yeah.
narrative.
But also, I don't think there's hard caps on growing the plan. I just think it's more that when you decide, all right, we have looted enough,
Yeah.
we're gonna move on to the next step.
Yeah.
Like when there's no need for the loot, like
Right.
It's just sliding back on the plan is the part that I'm not going to give you credit for. So like if you advance to like, all right, now we're going to sneak into the libraries of the ancient mechanics and decide how to figure out robot plans or whatever, and then you go back to, we're just going to go back to pillaging for like gunk or whatever you want. Like you're going to find a slime factory and get a big bucket of slime. Like you're not going to get credit for moving forward with your master plan if you get stuck going backwards.
Yep.
Mm.
Okay.
I think that's more of the master plan risk there. It's like it is an XP trigger. Not an XP trigger, a calamity trigger.
Okay.
So if you're not making notable progress on the plan, then they're going to get upset that you're not doing your job.
That makes sense.
Did you jump into someone else's dungeon scene? I had Nash jump into Blank's mining out the minion room. So we'll take 1 XP for that.
Would you count me jumping in with the wizard?
I don't think assists are quite jumping in, though.
I think
No,
your
wait.
character arrived after the dungeon scenes there.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Oh,
one of
those
the
don't count as
downsides.
dungeon scenes. Okay.
I view dungeon scenes as either downtime actions. I guess I do view them as free play actions in the dungeon when one person is just kind of like describing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. Yeah, I'm trying to like make space to do dungeon scenes, but the game doesn't have a lot of space for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
trying
think
to, like,
the game
find
is
spots
asking
for
the
more.
players to step in and sort of add on to each other's scenes.
It has good
Mhm.
mechanics for it, so I keep jumping into a dungeon scene and saying, am I getting the mechanics right and not am I getting the scene right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll get better at that, though.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't feel that I jumped into anyone else's dungeon scene unless... No, I did the cuffing of Nash with a different intention, so...
Yep. Did you act like a monster?
I cut off someone's hands.
I bit
Successfully.
someone's
Yes,
hand.
yes.
Many things involving hands.
Also, burning of homes and
Poisoning
slaughtering
wells.
of villagers.
Yeah.
Poisoning wells.
Yep.
Effigies to
Poisoning
gods.
wells.
Yep.
We
Dark
spend a lot of
effigies.
time actively being awful monsters, so...
Okay.
That's true.
Did
There is
you-
no more town at the base of Dark Mountain.
Did you use
Just
your...
the way we like it. Neighbors are not our friends.
No. We are very unfriendly neighbors.
It's a good thing you're in a far-off corner of the world.
Yeah. Did you use your gear supply in creative ways? I tried, but I think it still counts, even if it was a failure.
I don't think I could count my minions as gear. or
I do think
supply.
Varn's drill chain counts to me.
Both the
Yeah.
drill chain and the ball bearings was really creative.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can take the
you know
ball
what?
bearings. The
Yeah, because drill chain hasn't happened yet.
hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
And I don't
Proposed.
think I got anything that I can think of.
But I will
there.
take the ball bearings.
Actually, drill chain has happened. Engagement roll. That's how we got in.
Oh, that's a good
Oh.
point. I'll take it.
Okay, yep.
Sorry. Dang. Now you're gonna have to figure out a way to get XP next
That-
session.
That has been my goal for this entire character, is to find interesting ways to use the limited set of stuff that I have.
Yep.
So-
Yeah.
And same, like, that's why I'm just crafting more stuff so I can do that. But this is an interesting XP
That hits
system.
my-
Yeah, it's really hard to get the XP, but it really
Mhm.
makes you think about creative ways to do it.
It feels like it's less of a given. I was able to get all 4 XP this session, like 1 yes for all 4 questions. Even with that, there are a total of 9 things for XP. So even maxing out your XP, it will take more than 2 sessions per
Yep.
advancement, which is slower than regular blades.
Which
Yeah.
I like. I think Blades goes way too fast with XP. Like, you max out your character so fast. It's like, I'm just taking stuff because I have to.
Yeah.
It does get to that point, yeah. I don't mind how fast it is in the moment, but from a long-term campaign perspective, though I haven't been a player in a long-term campaign, so that's the thing, I've only been like a 5 or 6 session player, it is very different.
Mhm.
Honestly, at this point, if I was to play in a Blades game again, I would just never pay attention to the XP and just, like, take what comes. Because if I actually try try is a strong word. If you make an active effort, you advance fast.
I
Yeah.
remember that being the case.
I just really don't like being stuck with I have nothing to pick. Like that's the worst
Yeah.
kind of advancement for me. It's like when I can't pick anything.
Have any of us marked reckless XP yet?
Neither of us
No.
were bloodied. We healed bloodied immediately, and while I might go feral this session because I'm bad with stress, we haven't done that either.
That's
Yeah,
another
I
interesting
gotta
thing.
I gotta start casting higher level spells, and
Yeah.
I'll go feral pretty damn fast.
We need to
Yeah,
push
I'm
ourselves
close.
more, I think.
What does going feral actually do? Like, are we out of
You
the...
look at your dark impulse and be like, what's the most extreme action I can take related to my dark impulse, and you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's not nearly like a you're out of the scene like trauma from Blades. It's much more encouraged that we just we lose ourselves to our inner darkness for a moment.
So you're in the scene still, but everyone else has to deal with the fact that you are in the scene in a very
And you're probably
extreme-
doing something that is extreme or unhelpful or helpful,
Yeah.
but in a very bad way also.
So on page 58, it has an example. I think it's a pretty good example. Like, it's a marauder who takes stress after trying to resist being spotted while sneaking out of a temple, and they're like, "Well, I don't want to fight. So what's the most reckless thing I could do right now that doesn't cause a fight and is like trying to sneak out? Oh, I'm gonna jump through the window." Like,
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, we'll review the game as we go on more in depth, but I
Yeah.
think so far it seems to be going positively.
Yeah.
I need to have actual bad guys in the Spirits of Industry raid because, like, I put one bad guy up for the little dinky town. I just didn't expect all of the. I was also not figuring you'd want to kill all of the villagers. I kind of put the clock there for like try not to wipe them out, but it
but we're
became a
evil.
Blank
To be very
Blank's
clear,
bloodlust cannot be understated.
My core character motivation is everyone who speaks the light tongue should be dead.
Yeah, it
You
is
don't even speak the dark tongue.
massacre.
I'm okay with prisoners. Light
So,
tongue equals no.
Does that mean that the last to die, who will definitely die, are kobold minions?
Yes.
Oh my
Excellent,
god.
because you just taught them the light tongue.
They have been made expendable.
Oh my god, that is so funny. You're
expendable the
literally the
whole time.
last
Just
people
trying to
on the
wipe out an
masquerade.
entire language.
Prisoners. To be clear, I don't mind attacking people. I'm not actually all that violent, but every we've gone up against have been light tongue, and
Yeah.
they are.
Blank
no.
isn't,
So-
no, we should mercy kill them. Blank is, no, they have to die.
So,
Yeah.
Blank's trying to do a linguicide? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
linguicide.
don't worry.
We'll go into that a little bit more if we ever get a dungeon room in like Blank Sanctuary area, which has a little bit more backstory on why that is.
Interesting.
Don't worry, the Spirits of Industry are neutral. They don't really talk because they are
It's true.
weird automated corpses and
I
robots.
thought they were dark.
No, they're neutral.
They are?
Yeah, I think so.
They speak the tongue of neutrality, the tongue of, like,
No, they are dark.
officially
Are they
are
dark?
dark, I guess.
Uh,
But
Oh,
that's
did we
mostly
switch 'em?
fair.
I don't know.
hold on.
The forest denizens are neutral.
I mean, we can have
Oh,
two
okay.
neutral.
Yep.
Either way, they're dark. Okay, they don't talk anyway. It doesn't change
Yeah,
it.
They don't have a tongue.
Yeah. Perfect. Then I think we will call it here. If there's, like, we still have a few extra minutes, but I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about.
I mean,
Oh,
I
I
have
need to
one
figure out.
question, if anyone knows it.
Hmm.
I know you can increase something that you've got 0 ticks in by rolling it. Is there anything that you can do to increase things that you have like 1 or 2 or 3 ticks in? Is that a damage?
Reckless
That's
XP.
the reckless
Reckless
XP,
XP.
but it's only a track of 3, so it's a small track, but you still have to get 1
Yeah.
per session if you played into Bloodied or Feral, so it's gonna still increase slowly.
So
Yeah.
we really, really need to destroy ourselves in order to actually get better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Cool. Well, then that's just-
Questions.
resist everything.
What do we think as long as we're talking about factions and I'm just gonna metagame the whole thing. What is the Spirits of Industry up to? We got insidiously spreading.
Yeah, that's my idea for adding some more
I like it.
activity to
Although
it.
I can't make this work.
More than anything, this one should almost be secret, like the hidden. Here's the mystery of the land. Figure it out.
Well, we
but-
could add like a vague, ominous clock, and then figure out what it means when it's full, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
I like expand the factories.
It's just a new factory.
No, but like it's called expand the factories, but that could mean like take over a town and fill it with zombies that are now
It could also
working.
end up meaning, like, here we have a counter to whatever it is that we're trying to do with. We absolutely have to have a giant mech battle, so they're also making.
They're making them.
I love the idea of making a soulless mech.
Spread the spirit is the clock that they have at the moment.
Yeah, spread the spirit.
More
Yeah.
clocks could show up later, but currently they have a spread the
You
spirit
don't
clock. I
take
like the
them
idea
down,
of
they're
it
going to clear
infecting.
Perfect.
We got to give the cuckoos like XP grind as a clock.
Like level up.
Yeah, they're just grinding all
They're
the like
straight up
collect
trying to
10 bare asses quests.
Oh,
yeah,
perfect.
well, we haven't seen them yet, so we'll figure them out later. But yeah, I do like the idea that the spirits of industry are not just we don't know what's going to happen. I do like the idea of them being the other faction that could come out with a giant robot. That's good.
The
Yep.
series ends and every faction has a giant robot.
I
Um,
do think deep down every faction has the capability of bringing forth a kaiju of some capacity.
Yeah.
Like that
Like
is
the
a-
giant crab lord emerges from the earth from
Yeah,
Champions
that's
of...
a possibility for all of them. Like,
Yeah.
just to be clear, if we're building a kaijus
Everyone can build
fight
their own
kaijus.
kaiju.
That's
Greymon
how that
is the
works.
kaiju.
He's just the dragon is just a dragon. It's just
Um,
him.
So, like, I think, do we want to name other factions here that we want to add a clock to now? Kill It With Fire already has a specific interest in us, so we could add a clock for them.
I don't think
How-
they have not been alerted to you yet.
That's fair.
Yeah, but they know that there is a
Um,
volcano over there, so they alerted to not us, but the map itself.
And Pineapple Graveyard, I would imagine, are probably some of the people on our mountain now trying to raid the new world boss that has appeared. So I suspect we could add a clock for them that's like clear the gargoyle raid or something.
I know what they have. Seek lost adventurers.
What?
Oh no.
Yeah, no.
Would that be like a 24 clock?
We'll see how it goes.
Oh, so the three that we just took out were Pineapple Graveyard, and the only reason we were able to take out those two were
Because they were
adventures.
injured and surprised, and yeah,
Yeah, softened up from the world boss
yeah. The like tier
that,
probably.
that has appeared.
Yeah. I want to recruit that gargoyle at some point. Just a heads up.
Wait, they were PCs, so the two that we killed
Made new
probably
characters.
ones are back in Pineapple Graveyard and told everyone about our dungeon anyway.
So hold on. That would be against the new life rule of the RP server. When
Yeah.
you die, you lose your memory.
Yep.
You can't communicate at all. So you just say like,
would
I
say
have heard
that.
rumors that there may be some kind of dungeon here.
I mean, I would say yes, but this is specifically Pineapple Graveyard, who we have use
Oh right,
third-
they use
They
third
use
party
third-party
voice
chat.
chat.
Oh, they're those dirty cheaters.
Yeah.
I say as my character came back as a different character. That's fine. We're the bad guys. I can break the rules.
Seek the mage.
Perfect.
It's 4 o'clock.
Oh, good.
They know what they aired. It's not like they got lost somewhere in the world.
Yeah,
They
they
were
know it's
sent
on
to-
this mountain
They
somewhere.
were sent
Even
to the
True.
dark mountain to fight the raid boss, and the
That's
mage never
true.
returned. His
Yeah.
spirit never returned to the guild hall to be reincarnated.
okay. I think we'll leave it with this for now, and then Indigo, you can add any if there's anyone that like you want to have show up.
Oh, I'm only trying to put clocks down when like a thing happens that incites it.
Okay.
I agree.
See, I'm interested in the regular town and having something there.
But it is also sometimes when I've been GMing, I've been doing clocks to like showcase other events going on in the background, or if I want a faction to be the one to pick the fight with the PCs, I've just plopped down a clock for them.
Yeah, I'm really just waiting for you to make real enemies. You're getting close.
We are.
Like, I don't think I'm
We
gonna be
are.
worried about who to attack you.
Given what we did with our last raid, yeah.
But yeah.
The regular town, though, you're definitely gonna have to go there to, like, start
Hmm.
clocks there, because they are a regular town doing regular things.
Yep.
Regular
and-
town.
Tempting to have my vile friend be from there, so.
Is it the mayor?
I wonder if that would be.
not
I had
sure
the
about
idea
the
for that, but I also wonder if it would be too powerful to have the mayor of this town be a vile friend.
I wanted them to be a temp agency. This is where I got my kobolds from, and this is where I will get any replacement.
So a recruiter.
Mm.
Cool. No, that makes sense. They could be from the. You could have correspondence to the regular town to figure out new minions, and yeah. While we're on the topic, does anyone else have a dark or vile friend? Like the temp agency recruiter that they have been thinking about that would matter?
I think I am gonna have a black market, like, also kind of tinkerer but leaning more towards an artificer magic side, within the Conclave of Light. They're a fellow kobold, but they always do their business like fully cloaked and have their species hidden.
So there's the cloaked arbalist.
I just
Yeah.
thought of this one right now. I want a vile friend in the Champions of the Claw Lord, called Sir Lobster.
Sir
He's
Lobster.
the dark. He's the Dark Knight.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm still struggling for vile friend at the moment.
Yeah, it's a hard one, especially when the characters are all very insular, where it's like you want to do, like, the main goal of the characters in this game seems to be push your own agenda above that of your friends and your group plan.
And then roll to fight about it.
And then roll the fight about it, and because we're a region, not a city, it's hard to just be like in Blades in the Dark and Duskwall. You are assumed to just sort of be around the city wherever you need to be to a degree.
Yeah, this is also
here
an
we're a
MMO
lot more
where you
isolated.
Yeah.
Isolated, but also
It's isolated, but also bigger.
It doesn't take a day to cross a hex, though.
No,
Like-
it's meant to take. It said 2 to 3 days across the whole region, so it's not that big. But it's
just
still
supposed to be.
Learning
It's the
easy
video game
friends-
thing of drastically
what?
changing environs.
I think I'm going to make my vile friend a blacksmith in the Hand of Progress, the Crafters and Gatherers Guild.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, blacksmith.
Maybe you need a chain supplier.
Chain supplier.
Are we calling them the Arbalists? I'm good with that name if you want to go with it, if I can spell it. There we go.
What is that? That's the crossbow maker, right?
Yeah, that's crossbow making.
Perfect.
You said he was an artificer, and that's all I could think of.
I think they I think they are more magic. They're more magitech oriented, if that makes sense. So crossbows would be within their ability, but they're also going to do some like more strange mixture of magic and technology.
Yeah, of course. I don't know. I just came up with a silly name.
Okay, I've changed my friend's name. He's Sir Lobster, the Dark Kriller.
Of course. Beautiful.
Yeah, his gleaming red carapace. He has like a big claw, but still holds a sword with.
No, his shell is all black because he's the Dark Kriller. He's in the neutral faction, but he's like as bad as you could be in the neutral faction.
Perfect.
Yeah, the one thing I just want to kind of push for is for Kill It With Fire. They actively dislike us. I'd be really curious to have a clock for them.
They want our base. We could add a clock for them to discover that we are at their base. Is what they.
That is a good point. Volcano Discovery is a good
Yeah,
clock to start for them. So that way, I have clocks. These clocks are also good because I have penalties if you fail
Yeah,
like
tick up a
calamity
clock
rolls
things.
or random other blowback things, I can click these
Yeah.
clocks as opposed to trying to come up with something silly.
Right.
And do these clocks like get rolled on every cycle?
I don't know how it is in this game. In regular Blades, it is roll dice equal to the faction's tier after every score, usually, and advance their clocks based on the number of ticks on the clock based on the roll.
Okay.
So it'll advance somewhere between 5 on a crit, which will be 4 here, and, well, 0 if they fail. I think 1 if they fail, actually, because on regular
Yeah,
Blades, a 1, yeah.
On a fail, it's a 1. On a crit, it's 3+. So,
Yep.
Just depends on circumstance. I have named my vile friend. It is Roos the Mad Metallurgist from the Crafters Guild.
My vile friend is not getting a name until someone who actually cares what their name is speaks with them.
They are a temporary. Do you have any ideas for what they look like, or?
They're in the Goblin Town. I'm good to go with just a goblin for the
Perfect.
moment.
What might be cool is like if they're like a temp agency person. What if they're like a changeling?
Oh, I like that. They tend to change into whatever it is that whoever they're trying to sell to, but it's like,
Yeah.
They always have
half
the
is-
same name, though. It would probably want to make it an androgynous name.
Yeah.
Will we figure that out?
Androgynous name generator.
That'll generator for everything.
Yeah.
Jazz.
I'm not sure that counts as androgynous, but sure.
It's like
Actually, no.
Sterling, Jazz, Leslie, Scout, Stony, Price, Riot, like Wyatt, but with an R instead. Truth, Bravery, and Echo. This is-
I mean, I've used Jazz as a nickname for Jasmine.
Yeah.
Either way, doesn't super matter.
Yeah.
You can figure out
No.
the name of your own vile friend.
We'll
I do
figure
think
it
we have some clocks set up for more things to start happening in the world. And I gotta figure out a robot bad guy that is on equal footing to you.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we will be back next week, barring unexpected delays that
Yeah.
happen sometimes, but right now none are expected.
Cool.
Thank you everyone for
Awesome.
watching.